Kansas City in Odyssey Sports Station. Welcome into The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football.
Touchdown, Kansas City!
And your home for Royals baseball.
Fastball hit high in the air, deep left field, way gone into the bleachers. A two-run homer for Bobby Witt Jr.
Watch The Drive by subscribing on our YouTube channel or listen on demand with the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
This show is always going to stand on principles. Dippin' Dots are incredible. Red Lobster is the best restaurant that America has to offer, and baked beans are trash.
You're listening to Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan. Here's C-Dot.
Let's do this. Another day, another dollar, another edition of The Drive. You are listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. My name is Carrington Harrison. Excited to be here with you on this fantastic Monday. I almost didn't make it in today. Now, it was nothing serious. I'm perfectly fine, but you know how when you go out of town, how delays can really, really dampen the vibe. Oh, I had a delay. We'll talk about it. I want to hear some of your delay travel stories as well. But I am here. I am excited. Rob is here. We're taking you up until 5:30 for a little Royals and A's. You got to throw the records out. On a Monday night, when you get a Royals and A's at Kauffman Stadium, two of the better teams and marquee franchises in Major League Baseball set to duel it out at Kauffman Stadium coming up later today. We got a lot of football to get into in today's show as well. We'll talk about the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll go around the National Football League as well with some of the preseason football that we saw over the weekend. I continue to believe more and more in the Dallas Cowboys. They go pick up Von Miller. They get him on a deal. He had 8 sacks last season. You add him to the pass rush that I think the Cowboys are going to have. I really like that move. I continue to be out of love with the San Francisco 49ers. There's a lot to get into in today's show. Before we move forward, though, I need you guys to do me a couple of favors. Number one, I need you listening to The Drive each day at 2 o'clock right here on 96.5 The Fan. Number two, I need you to tell one friend to check out the show. I would greatly appreciate it. And number three, and most importantly, I need you to remember that the Open each and every day is brought to you by our friends over at The Other Place. Today is a Burger and Brew Monday. So if you want to go to The Other Place, pick yourself up a delicious burger. Get yourself a cold brew. And maybe watch a little baseball later today with the boys in blue back in town. They'll look no further than our friends over at The Other Place. The weather is still fantastic as well. We only have so many days left of this beautiful summer weather. All right, Rob, let's start here. Let's talk about the Chiefs preseason game. I don't care about the score. I only care about how guys played, and I care about the snap count because that usually tells you the story of what we witnessed. Now, this is my first observation of the week, so it's got to be a good one. Let's get things going. If you were optimistic about this draft class, I think they gave you a lot of reasons to feel optimistic in watching their first preseason game. Watching the game and then going back and watching just Cyrus Allen's reps because somebody cut them into a social media video, you can see the vision that the Chiefs offense has for Cyrus Allen. You can see how he could potentially use in, and he did look the part to me. Now, it was not some big time performance. You didn't go out there, but just looking the part, understanding what his role can potentially be and using it as a building block. You should come away from Saturday's game very encouraged at Cyrus Allen and what you saw from him. R. Mason Thomas is another guy. We talked a lot about this team and where I think they need to be from a pass rush perspective. I thought R. Mason Thomas, in a limited role, showed you what the ceiling could look like and what the burst is off of the edge. Now, I think at times it's going to be a little bit inconsistent and it'll be frustrating at times. I could see scenarios in which we want him on the field more and the snap counts are not lining up that way. But I think you saw why he was a second-round pick, why Kansas City was such a huge fan of his, and how he can potentially help the Chiefs this upcoming season. So I thought on the offensive side with Cyrus Allen, made a lot of sense to me, made a big catch, made a big play, did something that you didn't really have a whole lot of last year in that wide receiver room. R. Mason Thomas coming off the edge. I thought he made a couple of splash plays. Honestly, for the most part, I thought everybody kind of flashed and showed you something other than really Peter Woods. Now, it's one preseason game. I'm not here to overreact, but I thought you could take little bits and pieces from all of the young guys and how they contributed. I think you got fewer of that from Peter Woods, but it's to be expected. First preseason game, it happens. Rob, let me tell you the thing that I maybe came away with the most convinced by after the preseason game. I think that Emmett Johnson is going to have a much bigger role in the offense than we've discussed. Now, I've always liked the move, and I've seen the Chiefs do this move where you bring in a veteran on a one-year deal, and then they kind of fall out of love with the veteran, or he doesn't maybe get the opportunities that you thought he was going to get. But watching their team and seeing the way that they operated and how they used Emmett Johnson, I kind of think that Emmett Johnson is going to end up being their number 2. I think he's a guy that they're kind of relying on this season. I thought he looked good. I saw a stat that he had the most broken tackles of any player who played preseason football this weekend, and it was a pretty big gap between him and everybody else. 12 carries for 59 yards and showed an ability to make guys miss, an ability to break tackles, and you're doing this, in my opinion. The purpose of preseason is, A, to get your young guys reps. You saw that Los Angeles, Ty Simpson threw it 25 times. Yes, you're not going to play a lot during the regular season. Let's get you as many live rounds, live bullets as possible as we can try to take what we have as a foundation and build on it from there if you're the Los Angeles Rams. I'm also really big on in the preseason, I need you to show that you are better than all of these guys. We've heard it too many times, how the game plans are vanilla and how we're not really doing a lot of game planning. So to me, the purpose of the preseason is to see how many of your guys are just better than the guys that are on their team. It's a little bit of starters, a little bit of second-year guys, some third-year guys, some guys who aren't going to make the roster. This is just football. Can you beat the guy that's on the other side of you? Are you a better route runner? Can you cover? It's just playing football, and you got to let your instincts take over. The fact that Emmett Johnson in game 1 played as well as he played, and there's no Mahomes, Kenneth Walker didn't get a carry in this game. You look at the wide receiver, so you didn't have your number 1 and number 2. Hey, this was a who's going to showcase, who's going to emerge, who's going to play well. And I thought that Emmett Johnson performed very well out of all the skill position players. I don't think there's any reason to feel blown away by what we saw the Chiefs do in preseason. I don't think the Chiefs were trying to blow you away. You got really good reps from your young players. I think you're starting to see the team really come together, who they like, how they're going to use these individuals, and seeing where the depth needs maybe a little bit more work at. I thought, given the circumstances, preseason game number 1 for Kansas City, I haven't seen anything to think that there were no injuries that came out of the game on Saturday. I think preseason game number 1 was a success for the Kansas City Chiefs.
I think the main goal of preseason is to stay healthy, and use them at the end there. The Chiefs stayed healthy. There was no, oh man, can you believe so-and-so took an injury? Hey, can you believe we're down depth because so-and-so got hurt? Like we're seeing in Arizona, Jeremiah Love, it's not, earth-shattering season ending, suffered an injury. The Chiefs walked away healthy, and the players that we knew were going to play, like Chris Jones played the one play. Great. Travis Kelce got a handful of snaps. Super. The players we actually wanted to see perform went out, and outside of Peter Woods, performed well. So preseason game number 1, mission accomplished. Preseason game number 2, if I understand how Andy Reid traditionally handles these things, will be a little bit more game planny, a little more football-y with players, and then game number 3 will be practice squad time. So preseason game number 1, check, and check, all missions accomplished.
I'm also going to tell you the last guy here. We're going to be joined by Alex Gold here coming up in a bit as they're driving back from training camp. We'll get his preseason thoughts. We'll also get his thoughts as we are wrapping up training camp. I thought Jaden Hicks played well as well. We talked about this organization and how they are with secondary players, how they are with corners and safeties, and how they do a really good job developing. I think Noah Williams has a chance of being very, very good for this team. I think you got to feel good about what you saw with Jaden Hicks. A lot of other things got to come together. Their pass rush has to be there. That defensive line has to be there. Can you stay healthy? Can you avoid injury? Because you were dealing with some of that. Mansour Delane's banged up right now. Snead is banged up right now. Kader Kohu is banged up right now. So you're banged up a little bit in the secondary, but we got a month to go until we get to the start of the season. But I think you saw some guys really flash, really make some plays. Noah Williams made some. Jaden Hicks made some. We mentioned on the offensive side with Emmett Johnson. Cyrus Allen had a big catch. Andrew Armstrong made a play as well. So this was a game in which a lot of your established players didn't play, which is to be expected in preseason. But you want to see some other guys emerge. You want to see who can step up and really see how you can build out that depth. And I thought that was achieved on Saturday in Kansas City. All right, coming up on the other side, we'll be joined by Alex Gold as they are driving back from St. Joe. We'll get his thoughts on the preseason. Keep it right here, so drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual-active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount of acid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
T-Mobile is launching something no other wireless network offers. Introducing Nothing. Pay nothing today and walk out of the store with a new phone.
What did he say?
Nothing.
You definitely said something about nothing.
Exactly. Go to T-Mobile, pay nothing up front, and leave with a new phone.
Wait, nothing rules.
She gets it.
Hey, thanks for nothing.
For the first time ever, switch to T-Mobile, pay nothing. No taxes, no fees, no money down. And walk out with a new phone. There are 250 reasons to choose T-Mobile, and now nothing is holding you back.
On eligible devices with qualifying credit plan and 36-month finance agreement.
Recently, our company softball team lost the big game by 1 run. Then Dale tried to console us with the quote, "Winning isn't everything." Dale's a loser. I play to win. Like early payout from Bet365. If my team goes up big, I get paid out instantly, even if they blow the lead later. Sound familiar, Dale? Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Missouri. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
Kansas City football fans, Dane and Hughes here. Countdown to kickoff is officially on, so now is the time to cool with Yingling Flight. Whether you're headed to training camp, firing up the grill, or getting together with family and friends on game day, Yingling Flight is the perfect way to enjoy the football season. At just 95 calories and 2.6 grams of carbs, it's everything you want in a light beer. Yingling Flight, the next generation of light beer. DG Yingling & Son, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Enjoy responsibly.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This summer, the Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich and Pineapple Dragon Fruit and Sprite are back at Chick-fil-A.
Let me tell you about the Pineapple Dragon Fruit and Sprite. It's bright, it's bubbly, it's back.
The Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich, it's so rich, and you can choose between the original or the spicy filet.
Ooh, boy.
And then you got those pickled jalapenos tucked right under the filet, and then just to top it all off, you've got a little honey drizzle right on top.
Okay, now I'm a pimento fan.
And I'm feeling the dragon fruit.
Which fan favorite will you choose? Real customers paid for their testimonials.
Pros, find the right flooring for the job in Lowe's newly redesigned flooring showroom. Shop our expanded assortment of trusted brands and get up to 35% off style selections, Stainmaster, and Stainmaster Pet Protect Special Order Carpet. And while you're here, save $100 on a DeWalt It's now just $179. Get more of what you need faster and save more where it counts from the ground up. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 8/26 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
It is not hard to destroy a college. Last season, the podcast Campus Files brought you stories of fraternity drug rings, stolen body parts, campus cults, and more.
And now, Campus Files is back for another season.
There's a guy screaming into his phone. He's like, I just saw Charlie Kirk get assassinated right in front of me.
Every week is a new episode and a new story.
It was so chaotic.
It's almost like a university on a siege.
Listen to and follow Campus Files. Available now wherever you get your podcasts.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Trey Smith from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, welcome back into the show. My name is Carrington Harrison. Happy to be here with you. Let's head to the phone lines right now to be joined by Alex Gold. He was at training camp earlier today. He got a chance to be joined by Nick Bolton, and they only have a couple more days left in St. Joe. Alex, how you doing, man?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. You know what? You're right. Only a few days left, and you could sense that even from the fans that were up here. Like, it was the longest practice of camp, but it was empty, man. Kids are back in school. I think it's a big part of it. But, yeah, it was kind of the deadest day of camp in terms of fans and that energy level.
I'm actually surprised that teams go back to training camp after the first preseason game because so much of training camp is building up into that first game when you get a chance to see guys actually put the pads on and play against somebody else. Training camp feels kind of pointless to me after you see the first preseason game.
I agree for the most part, except maybe not for the Chiefs, because Andy today operates differently than anybody else. What I mean is just 48 hours ago, they were playing in a preseason game at 3 o'clock in the afternoon at Arrowhead, and then now they're in their longest practice of the year in full pads. I mean, that's a pretty old school mentality. I think a lot of teams, 48 hours after their first preseason game, it's actually a lighter practice. Maybe they're in pads, but it's not a full go. But this is kind of what Andy likes. He likes to test these guys. I think they were certainly even more critical of players today at practice and on players more than they have been. You know, they don't want anybody feeling too good about themselves after a preseason game.
Right now, we're talking to Alex Gold here, just getting his thoughts on the first preseason game, also getting his thoughts on training camp as well. Let's talk about the game. What was your biggest takeaway from watching the Chiefs on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it's somewhat obvious with Cyrus Allen. It's that they have somebody that can go and grab the football, can go and climb the ladder and go and help out your quarterback when a ball is not on target. In this case, it was Garrett Nussmeier, but there will be opportunities, of course, in the season with Patrick Mahomes for that to happen. The trust factor that Mahomes already has from Cyrus Allen at practice, I think will eventually translate to the regular season. I know it's 2 catches, 20 yards, right? I don't want to act like he's now heading to Canton, Ohio by any means, but just the fact that he was able to do that, and even on the play that was called back, was as Andy Reid kind of staple, and you saw the burst from Cyrus. So he just has a chance to have such an impact for this team this year if he's the number 4 wide receiver even, and give him something they just really haven't had from a wide receiver in a while.
The point I made in the open today is I thought basically outside of Peter Woods, and it's one preseason game, so I'm not coming to any conclusion with Peter Woods, you saw what you wanted to see from the young guys. If you wanted to see Cyrus Allen, and is the hype justified? I think he made a play that could represent that. If you wanted to see if R. Mason Thomas can help you on the outside, you got that. Emmett Johnson, I think, has taken over that number 2 running back role for the Kansas City Chiefs. Jaden Hicks made a play in this. A lot of the young players that the Chiefs are going to be counting on this season, they really had a nice showcase in preseason game number 1.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. If you're Brett Veach, you're feeling pretty good in the early going about what this draft class has the potential to be. You obviously like these players and you drafted them for a reason, but now seeing as you get closer to the real thing, we're not quite there, but closer to the real thing, everybody kind of go out there and give you a reason to be excited. And I'm with you on Peter Woods, though, Carrington. I think nobody should be concerned at all. That was a scenario he was put in that I don't think we're going to see in the regular season. There was no Chris Jones on the field with him. There was no Kairos Tonga on the field with him at the same time. He was getting double teamed. I don't think that's happening all that often here in the regular season. even if he's rotating in mainly on third downs to start the year. So my opinion on Peter Woods did not change at all. I don't think fans should be all that concerned about him. Emmett Johnson is interesting. I don't know if I'm with you on him being the number 2 running back yet, but I'll admit it's a weird, in a good way, a weird dynamic with how that depth chart can work out. Emmett Johnson did everything you wanted him to do. We saw the vision on display, the burst. It was everything we heard from his days at Nebraska. The question for him is going to be pass protection. We know if you want to be a young player on the field at the running back position for Andy, they've got to trust you in picking up blitzes. So right now, I'm not willing to say he's RB2 for that reason. I know it's easy maybe to just watch the runs and say, okay, he's good to go, but there's more to it than just that. So for me, if we talk about Saturday against the Bucs, I would like to see him on the field a lot again, which he was. And how does he handle a blitz pickup when the Bucs maybe in Todd Bowles blitz? If he can prove to them in those scenarios, that's how I think he becomes RB2. Otherwise, they got a bunch of backs that each do something different, but it's a good thing. If this was a year ago, Carrington, I think Emmett Johnson clearly would be RB2 and maybe gunning for RB1. So it speaks to a little bit more of the depth they have in the position.
You said possibly RB2 last year. No, it's absolutely RB1. I'd be arguing he's a Pro Bowl running back with how things went last season. If you had to give out a training camp MVP award, would you give it to Khalil Benson or Cyrus Allen?
So I think if we're saying from a most valuable standpoint, honestly, it would be Benson because he gives them some more opportunities moving forward, right? Like Cyrus Allen's the sexier name. We all are desperately craving for a future star at wide receiver and want him to be the next great story of the NFL where he turns into Puka Nacua or something like that. I understand the way more entertaining thing to watch, the one-handed catch today from Cyrus Allen was the best catch at camp. The only other catch that was close to it was the other catch from Cyrus Allen when pads weren't even on when he had a one-handed grab. So Allen has been sensational, but Benson, he goes from an undrafted guy to legitimately has a chance at some point this year. I don't think it'll be week 1, but at some point this year, maybe to give you right tackle reps. Perhaps he's needed at guard week 1 if this Trey Smith hip continues to be a problem. And then long term, the value he provides that maybe they don't have to pay Jalen Moore after this year, that maybe they don't have to spend a top pick on a right tackle again next year. Whereas Cyrus Allen, I still think we have to be realistic with what we're expecting this year. And even if he goes out and has a huge year, I don't think that prevents them from going and drafting a receiver high. Like you look at not bringing back Rashee Rice, let's say, I don't think you're going to feel great about just a receiver room of Cyrus Allen and Xavier Worthy, whereas I can tell you that Benson's your starting right tackle next year, and you probably don't have to draft another tackle.
Right now, we're talking to Alex Gold here, just getting his thoughts on the Chiefs preseason. So let's talk about Mansour Delane, and this is much more of a camp thing than a preseason thing. Now, in hindsight, I went through the wave of emotions with Mansour Delane, and I should have at least looked at it from this perspective. We have access to the practice footage in a way in training camp that we don't throughout the regular season. So when we hear limited or full participant, we don't really get to see what that means. You get to see what that means in training camp. I now think, let's say that the Chiefs' regular season has started a month ago, I don't think Mansour Delane would have played. But we see this happen all the time. A guy wouldn't have played, but now he's starting back to practice, and they're ramping him back up. That's the process that I think we're going through right now with Mansour Delane. So as we sit here, less than a month away from the start of the season, I have no worry and no concern. I believe that Mansour Delane will be out there week 1 against the Broncos, and I can admit that I possibly overreacted a little bit based on the injury.
No, I think you nailed it. I think you nailed it there. I don't think anybody should be worried now about Delane's availability for week 1. In fact, I'll say today at camp, for a guy that had his first real practice, because even last Thursday when they took the yellow non-contact jersey off, that was still just in shells, super light practice. This was a real, maybe the toughest practice of camp, quite honestly. And he held his own. He looked good. They threw different receivers at him, different skill sets. I thought for a guy that hadn't really had a true practice, Mansour Delane looked like what you expect the 6th overall pick to look like, at least in a practice setting. So barring some setback or anything like that, I think we're going to see him play on Saturday, Carrington, against Tampa, which will make us feel even better about where his shoulder's at and get to showcase his shutdown corner ability. So, if we're talking about the injury concerns on the roster, I think you can cross Mansour Delane's injury off the list. I think you can maybe devote your attention more to somebody like Trey Smith that you want to keep an eye on where this hip thing continues to progress.
I was just going to ask you, is there an injury on the team that you are worried about? We still got a little bit of time, but is there an injury you are worried about?
I think it's Trey Smith, just only, one, the importance of the position that we're talking about at right guard and how this offensive line might have, an average right tackle. So you would like your right guard to be one of the top tier guards in football. And when healthy, I think Trey Smith is that. Last year he was banged up a little bit. He went to a specialist to see this hip injury, and, they keep downplaying it. And obviously he didn't need surgery or anything, but that's the one to watch. I think CDOT he's probably not playing on Saturday, maybe not playing at all in the preseason now. So that might be one we're following all the way up to week 1. I'm not worried about Drew Tranquill, even though it's been 2+ weeks now without him practicing. Back spasms is what they're saying. I just think this is also he's a vet. He knows this system. He's a little bit older player. There's no reason with the back to cause it to flare up again. I think they're just going to rest that thing all the way through the rest of preseason. And then some of the other injuries, like Omar Norman-Lott, I think we all have come to grips with the fact that he's going to start the season on the PUP list, and maybe we can check in on him in October.
Right now, we're talking to Alex Gold here for a couple of more minutes here. I didn't really spend a lot of this offseason talking about it, but the Chiefs' field goal kicker was not good last year. And they're spending a lot of money for them to be good at kicking field goals. Man, I feel really good after preseason game number 1 that it looked like the old Harrison Butker was back.
We definitely spent some time this offseason talking about it because it was a problem. And the kind of money that you're making, you can't just be, I think we looked it up in field goal percentage, like 18th or 19th in the NFL. That's just not acceptable. That's just not something you can handle, especially with the roster that you have and where you're allocating your finances. So the best thing, Carrington, wasn't just that he made the kicks. It's that he's not doing that same, where he kind of falls down on that knee. Like we didn't see that. That to me was even bigger than he drilled multiple kicks right down the middle. It's that he seems to maybe, as much as it was mental last year as well, maybe some more confidence in the knee or that plant leg. That was the best sign of anything that we saw. So if suddenly you can go back to trusting Butker to make 59-yard field goals, which he made a 59-yarder on Saturday, and now it's pretty much, it sounds weird, but standard in the NFL where you better be able to consistently make 55-plus yarders. It's not a big deal anymore in the NFL. They got undrafted rookies coming in the league that are making 55-yarders like it's nothing. So, yeah, that's a huge positive. I think it absolutely was a concern, and I hope it's not something we have to talk about at all this year, and it's not about the clutchness. Everybody gets upset sometimes when we bring up Harrison Butker on him not being accurate, and they say, well, he still makes the big kicks. Nobody's questioning that in the playoffs, but you got to make the quote unquote gimmies and the extra points in the regular season if you want to get to the postseason.
Did you place any wagers this weekend on preseason football?
You'll be proud of me, Carrington. I did not. I only have one preseason wager this year. I told you I just had to make sure the FanDuel app was working. I did it on the Hall of Fame game, the over hit. Thank you very much. And I will not bet on any preseason football the rest of the way.
You had to make sure it was working. You weren't using it during the World Cup?
I just making sure for football. Carrington, I had to make sure I could navigate the app, make sure the NFL button worked when I click on that. I just had to make sure I understood how the over-unders are working again. Just had to refresh the body and make sure that the phone knew what we were doing.
That is our guy, Alex Gold, joining us on the show today, betting extraordinaire. Alex, man, I'll see you in a couple days, man. Drive safe.
All right, thanks, man.
Absolutely. That's Alex Gold joining us on the show today. I want to take a little bit of a detour, and I want to tell you guys a story before we get back to football. Now, I don't want you to take this like this is me complaining. It is not. I'm just sharing with you the story of my weekend and how it went. So over the weekend, I made the decision to take a little bit of a road trip. But Rob, I took the train. I've taken the train before. It was a very enjoyable experience. And I said, you know what? I don't need the car. I'll take the train. Got up early on Saturday, took the train. Was a very enjoyable experience. Loved it. Packed a cooler, hanging out. Your peoples is there with you. Let's have a good time. So the plan was for the train to leave at 4:30 yesterday, and we get back to Kansas City around 8 o'clock. You get back. I don't live that far from Union Station. I'll be back at my place maybe 8:30, 9 o'clock. You can have a real dinner, take a shower, wind down, watch a movie, get ready for the work week because I've been filling in a lot on Sirius before, my regular 2 to 6 show with you guys. I was going to rewatch the Chiefs game, just going to chill. All of a sudden, Rob, I started getting those texts early on in the day that the train is going to be delayed. Okay, not that big of a deal. Goes from 4:30 to 5:15. You didn't even have to send me that notification. That's not that big of a deal. All of a sudden, 5:15 turns to 5:43. Again, you're sitting there like, that's not that big of a deal. It's all right. Rob, you want to know eventually when I got on the train? 9:39, which really wasn't that bad. But my fear was exactly what ended up happening. It's not what time I leave this place. It's what time I'm actually back. So I got on the train yesterday. It was at 9:39. That's when I got on the train. My train departed and got me back to Union Station at 2:51. And I had to be up here at 9 o'clock. Let me tell you, Rob, I was not thrilled. I was not happy. And I understand that everybody deals with this. I'm not even telling you this to feel any sympathy for me. I had the chance to call out of work today if I needed to, but no, I wanted to be here with you guys talking about the Chiefs preseason game, so here I am. What I do want, though, is, Rob, what's the worst travel delay that you've ever had? Because I've only honestly had 2 to this level. That one, which is just a lot of sitting around, and the train ride was very fun on the way down. It was not very fun riding a train at 1 o'clock in the morning. It's not fun. I had one of these trains. I remember, I believe it was me, Danny, and Ben. Now, I don't know why this was the case, but in true Odyssey fashion, Rob, they had us flying on Frontier. We could have flew on Southwest. I would have paid the difference to fly on Southwest or an American or a Delta. This was the Super Bowl, so we all went down to the Super Bowl. This was a while ago now. This was the Patriots and Seahawks one, so the Malcolm Butler interception Super Bowl. So we had a stopover. So we went from Phoenix to Denver, and because of its Super Bowl time, so it's cold, it's late January, early February, you guys might be shocked to know there were problems with the weather in Denver, Colorado. There were problems. So we're kind of sitting there and, everybody's frustrated. Everybody wants to get home. They then told us that our flight, Rob, was canceled for the day. Okay, well, when are we going to get on the next plane? The next plane wasn't until Thursday. This was Sunday of Super Bowl week. Sunday. We can't come back on Thursday. I never forget. I saw Danny as mad as I've ever seen him on the phone with our boss at the time, John. I don't even remember him, Rob. Basically was saying, we're getting these plane tickets because only Frontier was canceled. Southwest or one of the other airlines were not canceled. And Danny's position was, I'm buying these plane tickets. I'm using my reward, or I'm getting the reward points for them, and you guys are going to reimburse us for this. It's exactly what happened. Swiped his credit card, paid for me, paid for Ben's plane ticket, got his little, credit card reward points, got reimbursed 3 days later. That's the only time that I had travel issues as bad as I had coming into town. My train was supposed to get in Kansas City at 8:51. Got back at 3 o'clock last night.
I'd say that's why we did not do the train when we did our trip there, because we were like, you have it different. At least you get home at 3 a.m. You're down the block from your house. You're like, you can walk. It's brutal, but you can walk. We were terrified of that situation for us. We had to get out to 135th and Metcalf. Like that's
you got another 30 minutes to go.
30 minutes of drive to go. The worst one I've ever had was, I actually was returning from my honeymoon. We had a layover in Orlando, which was supposed to be an hour. It was upwards of 5.5 to 6 hours. And what made it worse is, and I wonder if you've ever had this experience, text line, you probably had this experience. You get the alert on your app. You get the alert when you're at the gate. You get these notes where it's like, hey, your flight is delayed. Check back in 15 minutes for an update. Then you check back, and it's like 15 minutes for an update. And then it will say something like, your plane's set to depart an hour late, 2 hours late, 3 hours late. So you feel like you're going insane watching the app keep telling you these new and different times. So the worst one we had was We were coming back from Jamaica. We landed in Orlando. Well, it was supposed to be an hour layover to jump on the shuttle and grab our next flight. Turned into 5 hours of wandering the Orlando airport because we had nothing else to do.
Yeah, so I was just curious, 913-586-7965 on what's been some of your worst travel delays story. That's one of the worst for me. I feel good. I feel fine. I'm not complaining. I'm here. I'm happy to be here. If it was that bad, I just would have taken off today. I would have taken a sick day. I'm good. I am happy to be here. Rob, have you ever, now I'm guessing some of you have been in this situation because I'm a little bit worried. You know, August is when I kind of take my weekend. I take my vacation time. So next weekend, I have a plane ride on the same day as the event. The event is on Friday night. I'm flying out on Friday. Now, I've never done that before. Usually, I give myself a little bit of a buffer. Usually, I'll fly out on Friday after the show, and the activity will be Saturday. So if something happens, delays, I don't got to worry that much about it. I am a little bit worried about taking this flight. If it gets delayed in any capacity, I now have tickets to this function. I now can't go to the function. I'm a little worried about that. So I don't want to put no bad juju in the air. I don't want to do that. But I'm operating in a way that I usually don't operate.
I'm actually surprised you've never operated that way because you do Vegas, I don't want to say a lot, but a decent amount. And I would imagine like when you fly out on Friday, you land in Vegas, probably 8:15 Vegas time. You can still like plan a reservation. You can get tickets.
Sure.
I'm surprised you've never done the day of event.
No, I absolutely have had to cancel a dinner plan because of it.
This is a bigger event.
I mean, you got tickets to a show in Vegas. You're supposed to go see Bruno Mars, and then you're taking the flight out from Kansas City on the Friday, and the tickets are on a Friday. No. Because you know how Vegas works. If you're doing it on Friday, you're also there on Saturday too, for the most part. You can just plan ahead a little bit and plan to go to the Saturday show and not the Friday show. So I usually try to avoid it, but I am not avoiding it. So I'm a little worried now.
I think you should be okay. I'll knock on wood here. I have never done the day of, though, for that exact reason, because I'm terrified of delay, holdover, plane de-icing, whatever it is. There's always something that waylays the entire weekend. So I've personally never done it for the exact fears you have. I'm just surprised you've never done this because you're telling me you've never had a go see Usher in Vegas tickets on a Friday night. You've always just built in for the Saturday.
Always do the Saturday every time for that reason right there. Because I know I've been in that position too many times where the plane was supposed to leave at 7 and now we don't leave until 9:30. And I'm just like, okay, it's not that big of a deal because I didn't have nothing to do anyway. That's why. Because I've been in that position before. Because I know the vibes. All right, Rob, serious football thing here. We got to balance this out a little bit. Right now, the over-under for Fernando Mendoza's first start is week 8 of the NFL season. Would you take the over or the under on Mendoza week 8?
Because I obviously don't have the Raiders schedule in front of me. I can look it up real quick. I would take...
I will pull it up here while you were talking.
Over. I think it'll be later than week 8. I think the Raiders will be not good, but respectable. Maybe like a 2-6, but they lost a couple closer games than people expect. Maybe a 3-5. And I don't know they eject on Kirk at that point. But I think eventually it gets to week 12, 13, 14, the season is over, and then they make the move to Mendoza.
So I'll give you their early season schedule. So these are the first 3 games before they play Kansas City. They play Kansas City week 4. Miami at the Chargers at New Orleans.
So they could feasibly be 1-3 after the Chiefs game.
And then listen to this stretch. So they play Kansas City week 4, at New England, home against Buffalo, home against the Rams.
Okay, I didn't know that existed.
So heading into week 8,
that changes things.
They could be 1-7.
That changes things.
They could be 2-6. So week 8 is actually the perfect line of demarcation for Fernando Mendoza, because you and I could both see they go 0-4 in that stretch and they feel out of it, and then they throw the young guy and they go on the road to play the Jets on the backside of it. I'm going to go under. I think they start him a little earlier. Every team goes into the season with the same plan. We got the veteran experience old guy, and we got the young guy, but we're going to let the young guy sit. Look, it worked for Mahomes. Look, it worked for this guy. All of them do that until they get thrown into the fire. This is the same thing the Giants did last year with Jackson Dart, and then they realized they had Russell Wilson as their starting quarterback, and then week 4, Jackson Dart went to start. So I've seen this happen too many times. I'll take the under. I think that Fernando Mendoza starts before week 8 of the NFL season, and I feel pretty good that I'm going to cash my ticket. All right, coming up on the other side, Rob, I'll tell you, I'm a little torn up about this Hayden Panettiere thing. I am. I'll tell you why next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
The appetite for destruction returns. Guns N' Roses. World Tour 2026. One night. Morton Amphitheater. This Wednesday night. Tickets are on sale now at livenation.com.
And Doug.
Hot dog! Get your hot dog! Customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
Hey, what are you doing?
I like your method. Direct. To the point. A little loud, but...
Listen, people don't buy car insurance the same way they do hot dogs.
Not yet, but both are customizable.
Popcorn! Get your popcorn!
Hey, this is a hot dog area.
And customize and save area. Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Men, when addressing the problem of erectile dysfunction, you want the right treatment for your specific medical situation because every case is different, and finding the right treatment can mean the difference between just an okay experience and an amazing one. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and at our practices, we offer the full range of ED treatment protocols and can even combine therapies to help make those intimate moments special both for you and your partner. At Heartland Men's Health, we take great pride in providing excellent care and treatment options for ED. Our medical providers specialize in men's sexual health and understand that no two cases are alike, which means you'll get the right treatment for you based on sound medical evaluation and appropriate applications of medical therapies. Plus, we offer treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most men, you'll get your sex life back. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99. It includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
FanDuel is giving new customers up to $1,000 in bet resets. Bet $5 daily and unlock $200 in bet resets every day. That's right. New customers can place a $5 bet each day and receive up to $200 in bet resets, up to $1,000 in total. So whether you're betting money lines, player props, or same-game parlays, remember that FanDuel has you covered. Place your daily $5 bet and unlock up to $1,000 in bet reset. Summer is here, and that still means baseball season with our friends over at FanDuel. Head to FanDuel.com/local to get started. Remember, FanDuel is your place for home runs. FanDuel is an official partner of Major League Baseball and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Minimum $5 wager required for 5 consecutive days. Bonus issue is non-withdrawable bet reset tokens. Refund from tokens issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expires 7 days after receipt. Max refund of $200 per day. Restrictions apply, including token expiration. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it.
Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of essentials. Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Oak Cliff Speed Test Intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just one dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
This is 96.5 The Fan, your home for Chiefs football.
I don't know why this Hayden Panettiere news is hitting me the way that it is, but I feel really sad about this. I really tried to examine it as I was getting ready for the show today, and I think this is what I've come up with. There are some musicians or actors or actresses that we have quite literally grown up with together. She is one of them. She is Coach Yost's daughter in Remember the Titans. So you remember seeing her as a very talented child. And then we saw quite literally every other step of her acting career. She's in one of my favorite episodes of Law & Order SVU. Rob, she was on Heroes. She's on Nashville. She's in a bunch of popular movies. I Love You, Beth Cooper is one of those movies as well. I honestly just watched a movie that she was in a month ago. It was her and the kid from Everybody Hates Chris that's now in Abbott Elementary. They did a movie together about an Amber Alert.
That's a horror movie, right? Where it's like a
thriller. I wouldn't call it a horror movie, but
like in an Uber or something weird happens.
Yeah, it's cool though. It's definitely worth watching. So it was just like I just seen this movie a month ago, and I watched it, and then I look up how old she is, and she's a little bit younger than I am. So like we quite literally grew up together, and I seen this person's journey the entire time, and then to learn more details about her life and how she passed and all those things. I can't really explain it because I've never seen the television show Nashville. I never watched Heroes. I knew she was on it, but I'd never seen it before. I'd seen other things that she was in. She's in Scream. You know, I love the Scream series. This one kind of hit me. I was like, oh man, that's really sad. I also think she is an important character in a movie that all of us love. I understand that we all have different tastes, but there are a group of movies that everybody loves and everybody's a big fan of. For example, you don't know many people that don't like Forrest Gump. It might not be your favorite movie, but if you were on a first date with a young lady and she asked you your favorite movie and you said Forrest Gump and she says, I don't really like that movie, I would tell you to leave her alone. I would tell you she's crazy because everybody loves Forrest Gump. How could you not? There's some of those movies, different if you're a man or a woman. Like, I don't know a man that doesn't love Goodfellas. Just a really, really good movie. Like, I don't know how you could not like it. It's incredible. I don't know many people that don't like Shawshank Redemption. It's kind of one of those movies. Everybody loves Remember the Titans. Everybody feels good about Remember the Titans. They defeated racism in Remember the Titans. And she's a major part of that movie. And for her to pass in this way at this age, when you still had so much life left and so much other stuff, honestly, Rob, it's kind of got me down today. So R.I.P. to Hayden Panettiere, who passed away last night at the age of 36.
I'm sure other people have experienced this, and I'm not unique to me. But as I get older and older, I am more and more aware of when people pass young. Like, when you're 15, 16, 17, you hear someone passes at the age of 36 years old, you're sad, but you can't really conceptualize that. And that's my age. Like, it feels like, oh, it kind of hits home a little more. Like, oh, I know a 36-year-old because I'm 36. Oh, I know a 35-year-old because I'm 35. So I was talking to Drew about this in the newsroom. I have not seen a cause of death or anything like that, but usually when someone passes at the tragic age of 36.
It looks like an overdose. Just from doing the reading and the 911 call, and it seems to me like the young lady had an overdose.
My point is, if it is an overdose, and I don't want to speculate, it's never a they died peacefully in their sleep type of story. It usually gets another level of tragedy is coming to the Hayden Panettiere story.
Yeah, for sure. So I just wanted to pass that information on today, 913-586-7965. I don't want to be down. I don't want to be morbid about it. But yesterday, as I'm sitting there on the train and I'm getting this news and then I put it in my group chat, all of it's like, whoa, for real? And then I'm seeing people post the pictures. You know, it's that picture with her and Denzel when they're watching film and she's talking, and it just kind of had me down. So I wanted to share that with you. Let's move on to sports things. Melvin Council, he has a hearing. So Melvin Council is trying to play basketball at KU again. I believe that Melvin Council should be allowed to play basketball at KU again. If you were going by the current rules that we have, Melvin Council should be eligible to play basketball at Kansas. So he is filing a motion of temporary injunction is what he is filing to try to allow him access to play this season. That will be a hearing on Friday, September 4th. So is that right before Labor Day?
That's the Friday before Labor Day.
Okay, Friday before Labor Day. Melvin Council has a hearing. He is trying to play basketball this season at the University of Kansas. Rob, you and I were talking about this off the air, so we'll bring it onto the air, and I'll get you a little bit more information. Henry Greenstein posted a little bit more about this as a KU fan. It seems like KU feels pretty confident that Melvin Council and Trey White are both going to play this year, which radically changes how you feel about this KU team if you're going to add two players of that caliber at this portion of the season. If you're telling me, along with the recruiting class that they already have, you're going to add Melvin Council, who is a do-everything kind of guy, and Trey White, who might end up being your second leading scorer behind Tyron Stokes, those are two big pieces to add in early September, mid-September as we get ready for the basketball season.
Yeah, I haven't talked to anyone over Lawrence. I feel like they're much more confident at this point in time about Trey White because what was it Texas or Colorado? Whatever state we had a lawsuit recently where someone said you should have 5-5 eligibility. Trey White is eligible for that. KU has an open roster spot or two. There's a belief that Trey White could fit. People think he's coming back. That's one I feel like KU people are confident could happen. The Melvin Council one, I agree with you. Based on the current letter of the law, he should be eligible to play college basketball, but there are a few more hurdles to overcome for him to be eligible to play college basketball again, so I don't know that there's a belief that one will hit, but just 10,000-foot view, as a Kansas fan, it'd be great if they both come back. As a college basketball fan, I hate that they can both come back. Like, what are we doing? We're going to have 23, 24-year-olds playing college athletics? Like, I hate that that's the world we live in college sports. You just kind of keep suing your way back onto the court or the field.
I mean, I don't disagree with what you're saying. This is where we are in college basketball. If they allow Diego Pavia to play, they have to allow Melvin Council to play, in my mind. If you have allowed Trinidad Chambliss to come back and play one last year at Ole Miss, I think you got to allow Melvin Council the same thing. Now, Melvin Council has played 5 years of college athletics, and that's what might change it a little bit. But for those of you that are not familiar with the Diego Pavia case, his lawyer argued, hey, he did not play in the NCAA. He played college, yes, but all his 4 years of eligibility did not happen as an NCAA athlete. Therefore, he should be allowed to play. They ended up winning. You watched college football last year. Diego Pavia played. Same thing for Melvin Council. He has only played 3 years in the NCAA. The other 2 years, he was a JUCO at Monroe College in upstate New York. So if we're saying he's only played 4 years or 3 years of Power 4 basketball, I got a good reason to believe that he's going to be eligible. So we'll obviously track it. This changes things greatly for Kansas if you can have him eligible and you get a chance to really balance out some veteran experience and guys who have played college basketball, and you pair that with Tyron Stokes. I mean, you add those two guys at this point. We've been talking about a top 5 team in Kansas if everything works out for them. So we'll obviously keep you updated, but Melvin Council, he has a case with the NCAA. The update will be Friday, September 4th at 9 a.m. This is from a KU reporter. This will be the hearing on Council's motion for a temporary injunction. After the judge orders an issue on Council's application for an injunction, the NCAA will have 30 more days to file a formal response. So You start the process. They then respond to it. It will then go to an arbitrator, and we'll find out. So we obviously got a lot of time before college basketball gets going, but I believe that Melvin Council is going to be eligible to play at the University of Kansas. Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll be joined by Matt Verderame of Sports Illustrated. A lot of football to get his thoughts on. We'll do that next. Keep it right here. So Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison and Rob Brenton.
You losers is what you are.
On your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
This afternoon, expect mostly sunny skies with a high of 86.
Weather brought to you by Staples. It's the most wonderful time of the year at Staples. They've got back-to-school supplies as low as 25 cents, up to 40% off select tech and more at staples.com/back-to-school. Staples, that was easy.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
If you're only good to your new friends, you're not going to have any old ones. Straight Talk gets it. That's why new and existing customers get free 5G phones on Verizon's 5G network. Pretty simple, really. You keep good people by being good people.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
America is turning 250 this year, and Circus Sports is celebrating by offering all users in Missouri $250. Dane Hughes here, and for everyone in Missouri, all you have to do is deposit $250 on your Circus Sports app. Then play through that deposit. Once you do, Circus Sports will reward you with $250 right in your account. This is available for everyone in Missouri, new and existing users. Celebrate 250 years and find out more at circusports.com today. Must be 21 or older in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
When shopping for a new auto insurance policy, AAA could help you customize your coverage to fit your unique needs and budget. Trust AAA Auto Insurance to help you find the balance that works for you. See how a simple switch could make a big difference. AAA, we're always with you. Visit AAA.com/insurance. Insurance provided to qualified AAA members by Automobile Club Inter-Insurance Exchange and AAA affiliate insurers. Membership requires a separate payment.
How old is your roof? If it's over 15 years old, now's the time to catch small issues before they become costly repairs. Century Roofing has protected Kansas City homes for more than 36 years and installed over 36,000 roofs. That's why homeowners voted Century Roofing Best Roofing Company in Johnson County for the 5th year in a row and Best in Kansas City for the 2nd consecutive year. Schedule your free inspection today at CenturyRoofingKC.com. KC based and female owned. Century Roofing. Trust the pillars of strength.
Century Roofing. Trust the pillars of strength.
Hi, I'm Jacob, your friend and an actual jeweler craftsman at Shane Company. I'm proud to work for a family business that's been committed to the highest quality standards for nearly 100 years. Your dream engagement ring is designed for quality every step of the way. We set your diamond by hand, not with machines. Prong tips are beautiful and secure, and intricate details are thoughtfully crafted. At Shane Company, there's no shortcuts, just craftsmanship. Because a friend knows true love deserves the highest quality. Visit us in store or at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
This summer, Casey's has 89-cent medium fountain and new Frostbite by Casey's drinks. But if you don't have 89 cents, you could check your center console, dig between your couch cushions, ask Grandma for $1, or just use your credit card. 89-cent medium Frostbite by Casey's or fountain drinks at Casey's. All summer long. Restrictions may apply. See store for details.
Whether I'm setting up the ultimate tailgate or hosting a watch party, game day is all about the Chiefs and keeping it stress-free. That's why I go to Hy-Vee. They make planning a breeze with everything you need in one convenient stop. We're talking about tailgate trays packed with sliders, wings, charcuterie, sushi, appetizers, and those iconic Chiefs-themed cookies. Plus, a massive wine and spirits department to top off your beverage order. Let Hy-Vee handle the work. Just order online for pickup or delivery. It's a total game changer, only at Hy-Vee.
Back to school savings start now at Hy-Vee's 3-day sale. Stock up and save big this Friday through Sunday with hot deals in every department. Meat, produce, bread, cereal, and snacks. Want an easier way to shop? Order on the Hy-Vee app or at Hy-Vee.com. Choose pickup or delivery and we'll do the shopping for you. Save time, save money. Shop your way during the back to school sale this weekend only at Hy-Vee.
For 75 years, Kansas City families have trusted Anthony for comfort, safety, and dependable service. Thank you for trusting us with your house keys. Anthony, in your home for 75 years.
Kansas City, you need to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can watch all your favorite shows right from your phone, computer, or tablet. Every day, we stream the shows live on YouTube, plus clips from the biggest moments and biggest guests. Hit that subscribe button so 96.5 The Fan goes right to the top of your feed. In your car, on your phone, or on your computer, we are everywhere. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan. We're making all of our season-long NFL predictions during Futures Week, starting August 31st, right here on 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Let's head to the phone lines right now to be joined by Matt Verderame. He is with Sports Illustrated. A lot of football things to get his opinion on. Matt, how you doing today, my man?
Doing well, sir. How are you?
Absolutely, man. Fantastic. So let's just start with this. What was your biggest takeaway from Chiefs preseason game number 1?
Chiefs rookies look good. And ironically, the guy who probably looked, I don't know if the worst, just was the quietest, was Woods, who I think everybody would have thought, oh, he's going to be the guy who makes the most noise. He probably made the least. And, of course, Delane, for today was his first padded practice. He looked very good from all accounts today at camp. But I thought it was really impressive. The young guys, Allen continues to impress. We saw Emmett Johnson in a way that I don't know that anybody thought they were going to see Emmett Johnson. Emmett Johnson's been taking 14 reps in camp and sure looked better than that. R. Mason Thomas looked really good. I mean, I think the Chiefs, if you're Andy Reid, like you got to go up there and say, we lost, and they certainly have things to correct. There's no question.
Do you think that Emmett Johnson has turned into RB2 for this team, or do you think it's just preseason football? You can't take too much for how much he was used on Saturday.
So 90% of the time, I would sit here and say, listen, it's preseason football. And by the way, they just have not had in a while. Now, obviously, of course, they went out and they paid to get those things in Kenneth Walker, and Walker only played one snap in the preseason, but certainly, you know what you have in him. He's a Super Bowl MVP. But I do think it was really interesting that DeMarcado didn't play the fourth quarter. And, Brashard Smith, it seems that they kind of want to use him more as a pass-catching role, which, of course, with his background makes sense. But Johnson, he just popped off the screen. Like, when you were watching that game, it was obvious he was better than almost everybody else out there. And that, to me, means something. Now, look, Walker's their guy. They paid him as such. But you do wonder, could Emmett Johnson be a little bit of a Zach Charbonnet in this case? Could he be that guy? He flashed. He flashed in a real way in that game.
I think that's what Kenneth Walker could use as well. I've kind of gone into it with this mindset with Kenneth Walker. I don't think there's too much higher of a ceiling than what he is. And that's not an indictment on who I think he is as a player, but I don't think Kansas City's giving him 300 carries, so I don't think he's getting to some of those big-time numbers. But if you can keep his touches 200 to 220 and you figure out a legitimate number 2 running back with Emmett Johnson, that's the best-case scenario for this offense in my mind.
It's funny, about a month ago I was sitting down, I was just looking at different numbers. And it might be even though I was kind of writing a little summer overview for SI about the Chiefs. And I was thinking about Walker, and I was looking at his career. And I said, you know what? He's never hit 225, if my memory is correct. I don't think he's ever had 225 carries. And so I think with the Chiefs, if they had their way, he'd be right at about that number. But that means that somebody else is going to be getting 100, 150 carries. I mean, somebody is going to be able to really get some usage. And right now, look, I think Brashard Smith has a role. I do. I think he could be that piece they move around and you throw the ball out to him. He's got good speed. He's got great hands. You could use him. They could use the guy who, when they put him in for Walker, they're not losing a ton in the run game. Now, look, it's too early to say whether that is true of Emmett Johnson. I mean, Emmett Johnson has played one NFL game, preseason game. But watching him, there was a play in that game in the second quarter where they ran a counter, and it was slow developing, and the Chiefs' second string offensive line, I'll tell you one thing, we learned in that game. If they've got to play their second string offensive line, good night. But they run the counter, and he stiff-armed like a 320-pound D lineman and just blew by the line, went around the edge and picked up 10, 11 yards. That's the kind of thing, if you're Andy Reid, if you're Eric Bieniemy, you're sitting there going, okay, if that kid can do that, if that kid can hit the hole with the aggressiveness that he was hitting it with, I think that's where you start to gain the trust of the coaching staff to go, hey, he's not going to screw it up. And that, they wanted to do that a couple of years ago with Carson Steele, and the Carson Steele, A, wasn't as talented, B, kept fumbling the ball. If Johnson can avoid the negative plays, I think he could carve out a role this year with this team.
So we've been playing this game with people, and I want to explain the rules to you. So you get 50 yards on the low end, and you get 50 yards on the high end. And I ask you to give us the range for Cyrus Allen heading into the season. I said 325. I wouldn't be surprised if he had 318 yards. I wouldn't be surprised if he had a little bit more than that. I would be surprised if he had 500 or 600 yards. I also don't think he's going to be in the 100s. I think they're going to use him a little bit more than that. If I told you that you get a 100-yard range, so 50 on the negative end, 50 on the positive side, where do you think you would land on Cyrus Allen?
450. And the reason being, we've both covered the NFL on this team long enough to know a couple things are true. Andy Reid likes to use rookie receivers in the way that I like to go get an oil change. Okay? It is not fun, it's not enjoyable, and it's not something you look forward to. That being said, I don't think there's a choice this year, Carrington. Like, if you look at this team, okay, I get it. If they're in 11 personnel and the world is perfect and the sun is shining and the birds are singing, it's Rice and it's Worthy and it's Thornton. Great. They're not all playing 17 games each. There's no way that's happening. They all have different injury risks. I'd be stunned if those guys play 50, 51 games total between them. And on top of that, you're going to play your fourth receiver 30 snaps a game, 35 snaps a game. There's no world where Cyrus Allen, at worst, is not the fourth receiver on this football team. I mean, they're going to play him over Jalen Royals. They're going to play him over Andrew Armstrong if he makes a team, or Remigio, who's only there to be a returner. The only way my answer would change is if they went out and they just, for whatever the reason, decided to finally bring somebody in. If they went out and like Keenan Allen or something. But short of that, I think he's going to play. And I think we've seen Mahomes trust him. Look, I don't think this is going to be Rashee Rice's rookie year where if he plays week 18, he has 1,000 yards. I don't think it's going to happen. But I think this kid's going to be right, 400 to 500 yards, and I could see him ramping up as the year goes on. He's been very impressive.
Right now, we're talking to Matt Verderame of Sports Illustrated, just taking a closer look at the Chiefs, talking about the preseason, talking about training camp as there's 2 final days left in St. Joe. On a scale from 1 to 10, where's your confidence level at Rashee Rice heading into the season? What's your confidence level in Xavier Worthy 1 through 10 heading into the season?
Okay, so with Rice, a 6. And I would say a 6 because I'm not that worried about these clips of him where he looks like he's running a little bit slow. I mean, it's camp. It's 100 degrees. They're tired of being in camp. I've seen enough of him where he's running full speed that I'm not really that worried about it. Maybe I'm proven wrong. I don't think that's going to be a big deal. I've talked to people around the building. I have not heard that as a concern. That said, look, it's a 6 because he's played 12 games over the last 2 years. Is he going to play football this year? Like, he's been hurt. He's been suspended. And he's just unreliable as a human being at this point. I'm not trying to, be harsh about him, but it's the truth. He's been an unreliable person since he's been on the Chiefs. So I think there's a world he gets 1,200 yards this year. I also think there's a world where by week 6, it's like, yeah, you know what, that's the last time he ever plays for the Chiefs. Like, it's just, it's one of those things. And with Worthy, I'd probably say about the same, maybe a 6.5. Look, the question for me with Worthy is just, is he going to be healthy? Is the shoulder going to hold up? Because if the shoulder holds up, I do believe he'll go and have a pretty productive year. I don't know if he'll have 1,000 yards, but I could see him having like 800 yards. I think the Chiefs' offense could be really good. I really do. And we've had this conversation. Like, I think the Chiefs actually have talent. The biggest question going into the camp for me was the receivers, which remains so, but Cyrus Allen coming out of nowhere and being this guy that everybody is privately and publicly just raving about changes things. They might have gotten really lucky in that regard. But I think the rest of the offense, it should be really good. It's just a question of, like for every team, can you stay healthy? Can you stay on the field?
You mentioned the offensive line. Let's talk a little bit more about them. The non-starters, 7 penalties from your second-string offensive line. Certainly not what you're looking forward to. The only backup they really seem to like is Khalil Benson. They're moving him all around everywhere. How do you think he performed in his first NFL game?
I thought he did well. Now, listen, he played 6 snaps. So I don't want to blow this out of proportion. Oh, my God, he's going to be the next Will Shields. I mean, he was good. He had a nice reach block in the first play, which is a tough block. It's a really tough block. You've got to be nimble. You've got to be quick. And you've got to be really strong to be able to make that block on the inside, cut off a 200 or 310-pound D tackle. It's a nice play. The question I have with the Chiefs is, okay, Trey Smith, they've talked about the fact he may or may not be back this week, but it's not serious. They've maintained it's not serious. Let's take them at their word. Okay, it's not serious. I'm assuming right now that Benson's the right tackle on the team. Like, I would assume that that's how they feel. Now, maybe they don't, but either way, whether it's Benson or Moore, I guess it's irrelevant here. They're going to have one backup, whether it's whoever one of those two guys it is, that they, quote-unquote, trust. The problem is, okay, so in that case, in either guy, I think you'd feel like, okay, look, Benson can play guard or tackle. I don't know that Moore can play guard. He can play tackle. And maybe, by the way, that's a determining factor. Maybe they feel like, look, we need Benson to be a backup because he can play guard or tackle. But they are thin, man. I mean, I would imagine the backup left tackle's Moore, which would mean Benson kicks to the right side. I would imagine if there's an injury at guard, Benson kicks inside, Moore's your right tackle. I have no idea who the backup center is. I don't even know if they have one on the roster right now that they would willfully put in the game. They have 6 players they trust. I know they like Pole a little bit. Like, if they had to play him, I don't think they'd be horrified to do it. But, man, the interior, if any of those guys get hurt, Benson, again, maybe can be a serviceable card, but, boy, they would be walking a major tightrope. I would not be surprised if that's an area where they maybe pick somebody up off the waiver wire. And keep in mind, because of how bad they were last year, they're not 31st or 32nd on the waiver wire. They're the 9th. So they may try to shore up an area there, if somebody were to get cut that they like.
I'll ask you a similar question talking about the cornerback room because there's 2 corners they clearly like. I think Delane's going to be healthy for week 1. It was a scare, but I think the shoulder is now really developed. He's fine. Noah Williams has maybe had a better camp than any single person in their organization. He has had a phenomenal training camp and just looks like he's ready to take the torch of next good mid-round corner that goes off and makes, $48 million. But Snead's dealt with injuries. Kohu's dealt with injuries. Christian Fulton has been inconsistent. Do you like anybody else in that cornerback room? Is anybody else healthy in that cornerback room?
So I'm with you on the outside because they actually might be in a very unique position where they're losing 2 guys who combined to make $150 million in new contracts this offseason, and they might be completely fine on the outside because I think Delane, and I had this position before they even had the draft. I wrote about him for Sports Illustrated. I thought he was a top 5 player in the draft. So I think he's going to be fantastic. Williams, I think, can absolutely come in and beat Jalen Watson. I think I agree with you as far as one of the strongest camps on the team. Inside look, the first question is, can L'Jarius Sneed, can he hold up at all? If he can't, Christian Roland-Wallace looks to be that guy. I don't have a strong opinion of Roland Wallace one way or the other. I think he's fine. Like, I don't think it's going to kill them if he's playing there. And if they have to, maybe they sit there and go, all right, you know what? Look, we'll kind of play it by ear. We'll play a little bit of Snead, a little bit of Roland Wallace, a little bit of Kohu, maybe Kevin Knowles. Like, I think they'll be able to somewhat figure that out. Maybe Jaden Kennedy gets a look at some point. Obviously, he didn't play the whole second half of the game on Saturday. I think they'll be all right there. They have some safety play that, again, I don't think the safety play is going to be Hall of Fame-esque, but I don't think it's going to be bad. like, my big question with them defensively is going to be the second level, and it's going to be, we saw our Mason Thomas look good on Saturday. Is that real? Because if that's real, almost irregardless of what Woods does, that changes the defense. But it's a big question. And that secondary, especially how young it is, they could use the quarterback getting heated up a little bit. And if that happens, you don't have to blitz, and they can cover with 7 and not 6 or 5. That changes a lot of what you can do to help some of these corners out.
Last thing here, I'm interested to get your thoughts on it, Matt. Do you think Patrick Mahomes plays at all this preseason?
I don't, unless he tells Andy that I need to be out there. I need to get out there. I need to, feel guys near my feet. I need to be able to step into that throw with confidence when I know that I'm live and I could get hit. It's different when you're in practice. You're not going to get hit. When you're the quarterback in any NFL practice, when something goes really wrong, you're not going to get touched. That's different when you're playing the Bucs or the Seahawks in these next 2 preseason games. My guess is no. I think Andy's going to be really careful. And you're going to see some Fields and a lot of Nussmeier, because I think Nussmeier is one of these guys that they're going to have to really figure out, are we going to roster 3 quarterbacks? I don't think he's getting through waivers. If the Chiefs try to get him to the practice squad, I don't think it's going to happen. So it'll be interesting. But listen, Mahomes, I don't think there's any doubt in the world that barring something catastrophic, he's going to be ready to go week 1, 100%. But I don't think we're going to see him these next few weeks unless he really advocates that he has to be out there.
That is our guy, Matt Verderam, joining us on the show today. He is with Sports Illustrated, talking about the Chiefs, getting you ready for, quickly, it is here, preseason game number 2 against Tampa Bay. Matt, great stuff, man. We'll catch up with you down the line.
Sounds good. Take care.
Absolutely. That is Matt Verderam joining us on the show today. Rob, we don't got to spend a whole lot of time on it today. We'll wait to get the official answer from the Kansas City Chiefs, but if Patrick Mahomes is going to play in the preseason, the upcoming preseason game is the only one that we will have this conversation about. He is not going to play in the final preseason game. So the question is he going to play against Tampa Bay? If he's not playing against Tampa Bay, he's not playing again until the Denver Broncos game. Is that correct?
That is how I feel, and I think as time goes on, I think I'm more and more convinced he's not playing in the game this Saturday.
I would agree with that.
I don't think that's the right call, but I don't think he's playing Saturday, which means he's done until September 14th.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I do not think that Patrick Mahomes is going to play in the preseason. I think they are going to sit him out this year. Just based on how they're moving, based on how they're maneuvering, I don't think he's going to play. Rob, can I tell you a game that I played earlier today, and I want to get your thoughts on it? So you remember how a couple of days ago we played Pick 6, where I gave you 6 teams in the NFL, and you told me if you thought that you had the Super Bowl combination within those 6 teams, you could take 1 NFC team and take 5 AFC teams, vice versa. It does not matter to me. You just have to have a Super Bowl combination inside of it. Do you think you get the right answer? Because last year, I don't think many people would have got it right. I don't think a lot of people were going to put New England and they were going to put Seattle in their Super Bowl question. I want to play this same game, Rob, with MVP, and I want to tell you the 6 that I would put in there and why I have them and why I don't have them in there. I think we are far enough removed from Patrick Mahomes' voter fatigue that I think Patrick can win MVP. If this offense bounces back the way that a lot of people think that it can, and they hit their best case scenario, their absolute ceiling, you then add in the storyline and the narrative of you coming back from an injury, you rebounding in the division. I don't think there's going to be Pat's already won it a couple of times sentiment around him. I think it will be the best player is back to show you that he's the best player in the National Football League. So if you're telling me to throw somebody in the mix, I would throw Patrick Mahomes, just because if it is close to me between Mahomes and somebody else, I think they would choose Patrick Mahomes. And I think the media narrative, all of those things go into this conversation. So I would put Patrick Mahomes. I got Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams, to me, this is how guys normally win MVP. Good rookie season, improved second season, third year, you take a step forward, and now you're ready to go. Would I be surprised if Caleb Williams took a little bit of a leap and went to 4,100 yards, 30-something touchdown passes, the Bears end up winning their division, and there's a push for the guy who's in Chicago, who won the Heisman Trophy, who's on the cover of the Madden video game to win NFL MVP? No, not at all. So I have Patrick Mahomes and Caleb Williams. Those are my two. I got Joe Burrow on this list for a couple of reasons. Very recognizable. Media loves him. Fan loves him. Chance to put up big numbers in an offense. Like Joe Burrow has a chance to lead the NFL in passing yards. I'd be surprised if Patrick Mahomes had more passing yards than any other quarterback in the league this year, given their wide receivers. I would be surprised if Patrick Mahomes threw for the greatest number of passing touchdowns this year for what we're talking about, and also how they could use Kenneth Walker and Emmett Johnson this year. You cannot be surprised if that's the conversation that you have for Joe Burrow. So I have Patrick Mahomes, Caleb Williams, and Joe Burrow. Bengals win their division. Burrow puts up big numbers. He's never won MVP. They give him the award. I don't think we've reached voter fatigue yet with Josh Allen. And you know, the media, they love themselves some Josh Allen. They love him. He's the favorite. I think he should be the favorite, given the fact that he just has the chance to just put up big numbers because he does so much. So he can throw for 29 touchdown passes, run for 14, run for 800 yards, and just do so much. And if the Bills get the 1 seed or have a very good season, I think Allen will be a lot of people's pick to win NFL MVP. All right, the other two, Rob. I went with Drake May and I went with Dak Prescott. This is why.
Interesting.
I don't think Matthew Stafford can win. I don't think they're going to give him back-to-back Super Bowl or MVP awards. I don't think he'll win back-to-back. I also think his team is so good that the media is going to knock Stafford for being on such a good team. They just have everything you would need. Look at their defense. Look at the offensive weapons that they put around them. If it's close, I think because he already has one, because he won last year, I think those look to give it to somebody else. So I actually think Stafford's a bad bet. I've already seen with Lamar, I think they're done giving him the award. I think they're done. I think he already has his 2. They're not giving him 3. They're not giving him more than he already has. He should have won his 3rd a couple of years ago, and they gave it to a player with lesser stats. So it's not about does Lamar have better stats. I think Lamar's done winning MVP unless it's so undeniable that you have to give it to him. And I'm just going to guess, first year, new system, new offense, it's probably not going to be undeniable this year. So I would not include him. And I just think that the Cowboys have enough where Dak could have a really good year offensively that he could put himself in the conversation. I feel worse about Dak than all these other guys. I don't think he's going to win MVP. I would not place a bet on Dak Prescott to win MVP, but I wouldn't place one on Lamar Jackson. I wouldn't place one on Matthew Stafford. I wouldn't place one on Justin Herbert. I don't think that Jalen Hurts is winning the award. I got to pick 6 people to fill this thing out. That's how I would do it. I think these are the 6 players, and I feel good that I have the MVP in this list. Patrick Mahomes, Caleb Williams, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Drake May, and Dak Prescott. Those would be my 6 I would throw out.
Let me ask you a question because I think you're missing one name. Why is Justin Herbert not on your list? I know you're not high on the Chargers. I know you're not high on him. But doesn't he fit the narrative game?
Oh, he absolutely
does. Doesn't he fit the...
I just don't think he's winning.
If he wins the division, I think he's all but won the MVP.
No, I understand why someone would pick him to be in their 6. I'm just not picking Justin Herbert to be in my 6 players of winning it. I do not believe that Justin Herbert is going to win NFL MVP this year. I get why people are coming to this conclusion, and all of a sudden we've turned Mike McDaniel into Bill Walsh and this great offensive mind. He hasn't thrown for 4,000 yards in each of the last 3 seasons. He hasn't thrown 30 touchdown passes since COVID was going on. I would be a little surprised if Justin Herbert won NFL MVP. And if he does, that means that he and the Chargers finally put it together. And that just hasn't happened so far in his 6 years.
I wouldn't bet him. I kind of feel the same way about Justin Herbert you do. I think he is a lot of passes the eye test, fails all the other tests. But I think we know this. The MVP is a narrative-driven award. His narrative is laid out perfectly. Quarterback who could do everything, never could overcome the division, suddenly wins the division. is a 1 or 2 or 3 seed in the AFC, putting up big video game numbers because Mike McDaniel's offense, while you're right, I don't think it's Bill Walsh, has been known to produce big offensive numbers. I just think it's written in the stars. And then at the NFL Honors event, he and Madison, whatever her name is there, and he gets the award. It checks so many boxes.
Somebody asked, what about Trevor Lawrence? We'll do that more on the other side. So I came up with the pick 6. If I gave you 6 players, do you think you could accurately predict the NFL MVP? In my 6, I have Patrick Mahomes, Caleb Williams, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Drake May, and Dak Prescott. Those would be my 6. I'll tell you why I didn't pick Trevor Lawrence. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Carrington Harrison here. Let me tell you that erectile dysfunction affects more than your sex life. It can impact your confidence, your relationship, your quality of life. But you don't have to live this way. What they'll do at Heartland Men's Health is they have licensed medical providers who can create a specialized treatment plan designed for your unique needs. Because when it comes to this, there's no one-size-fits-all solution. Using advanced medical therapies that go far beyond pills, Heartland Men's Health helps men achieve success rates at well over 90%. Many patients are even able to resume intimacy as soon as the day after their appointment. Your initial visit is $99. It includes a medical consultation, testosterone, and PSA testing. And if medically appropriate, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work during your visit, then the appointment is on the house. So visit any of the 3 area Kansas City locations, Overland Park, Independence, North Kansas City. Pick up the phone and call Heartland Men's Health at 844-447-6600 or visit the website, heartlandmenshealth.com.
Feature therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
It's Chiefs season at Harrah's Kansas City. Every Saturday in August, the excitement kicks off at 6 p.m., where every 15 minutes until 10 p.m., one lucky guest will win up to $2,000 in free play. Then at 10 p.m., one grand prize winner will score a pair of Kansas City season tickets. Wear your red, bring your lucky game day spirit, and join us every Saturday in August at Harrah's Kansas City. Big prizes, big excitement. Don't miss your shot to win.
21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years guaranteed? Now through August 24th, new Xfinity customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense. Plus, it keeps you protected from online threats. And get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this rush hour ad to keep you calm, which could help your driving. And science says therapy is great for a healthy mindset. So enjoy this 14-second session on us. I think you've done everything right and absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, anything that hasn't gone your way could probably be blamed on your father not being emotionally available because his father wasn't emotionally available, and so on. And now that you're calm and healing, you're probably driving better too.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Hi, I'm Danny Gravatt, Division Manager at Ready Services. For over 6 decades, my family has kept Kansas City comfortable, and I've been proud to be part of it for over 50 years. When a pipe bursts or the AC quits, you don't need a quick fix. You need a team you can trust. As a family-owned company, Ready Services delivers expert plumbing and HVAC services with honest repairs at the right prices. We guarantee you expert services without the high-pressure sales pitches. Get the job done right the first time. Contact us at ReadyServices.com today.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney, I apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. After 15 years and over 50,000 cancellations, I can tell you with confidence, we know how to get you out of your timeshare. Call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit guide absolutely free with all your options for cancellation. Attorneys, this was meant to be funny, so please don't sue me, especially my friend Kenneth from Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-738-9900. That's 800-738-9900. 800-738-9900.
Chiefs coverage is brought to you by New Century Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Paola.
Spring hail means big savings at New Century Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Paola. Save up to $15,000 on hail damage new and used vehicles, plus all factory incentives. But this hail of a sale won't last long. New Century Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Paola. You always pay less in Paola.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
We've got a stall causing problems 169 headed south. So Broadway Freeway South. It is at Charles B. Wheeler. Scoot to the left through here. The crash is still working 70 westbound at Paseo. Eastbound, it looks like, has cleared, and you're starting to unwind. Westbound still slow at Paseo. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, welcome back into the show. We'll get back to the Chiefs specifically here, talking in a little bit. So last week we played a game. You picked 6 teams, and you could see if you could guess the Super Bowl matchup in your 6 teams. Because I'm guessing last year you would not have gotten the correct answer. You would not have put both the Patriots and the Seahawks into your 6 teams. So we did it again. I gave you guys Kansas City, Denver, Buffalo, Houston, and also 2 teams in the NFC, the Rams and the Seahawks. We're now doing this same game with NFL MVP. If I gave you 6 players, we know only quarterbacks can win the award. They're not giving it to a wide receiver. They're not giving it to a running back. Those guys can win Offensive Player of the Year for sure. But we have made the determination now that MVP is a quarterback-only award. What 6 quarterbacks would you take? The ones that I put: Patrick Mahomes, Caleb Williams, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Drake May, and Dak Prescott. I felt like I had a good combination of recognizable names and also how I think the voters think. In my opinion, the voters have determined that Lamar Jackson cannot win the award anymore. They've already given it to him twice. It's time to start giving it to other people. I don't think that Matthew Stafford is going to win the award. I think the Rams are perceived to be too good, and he's already won one before. So I just don't think that the Rams quarterback is winning it this season. A lot of people on the text line were asking, what about Trevor Lawrence? Rob, did you know that Trevor Lawrence has never had a season in which he had a 100 quarterback rating or better? He just hasn't ever come close to playing at a MVP kind of level. So I get it if you want to take a chance, and let's say you want to remove Dak from my list and you want to throw Trevor Lawrence in as your little bit of a flyer. Can they put it together? We've just seen massive seasons from Dak Prescott. We've never really seen a massive Trevor Lawrence season in Jacksonville, and that's why I didn't put him on the list.
I also think I am down. I'm selling Jag stock this year. Maybe I look like an idiot, so I would join you in saying no for Trevor for MVP. It's just everything broke right last year, and they went, 13-4, 14-3. Like, they were really good, but I feel like their division is now tougher, and I still don't love the talent on that roster. I think Liam Cohen has a chance to be a really good coach in this league, and maybe he'll make me look like an idiot because he's just Sean McVay and can make anyone great, but I'm going to keep waiting on the Jags and selling Jag stock. So I'm not in on Trevor Lawrence as an option, at least not yet. But like we talked about narrative, everything you just said about Trevor Lawrence, if he turns a corner this year and looks great again, that's a narrative that he could be doing to an MVP.
Yeah, for sure. Someone on the text line says, if Myles Garrett breaks the sack record, can he not get it? He broke the record last year. He didn't have a chance at it. He didn't finish top 5 last year for NFL MVP. The top 5 last year were Matthew Stafford, Drake May, Josh Allen, Christian McCaffrey was the highest non-quarterback on the list. Trevor Lawrence and then Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert got 1 vote last year for NFL MVP. It was close last year. Stafford got 24 votes. Drake May got 23 votes last year. So the voters were very, very split on who they thought were going to win the award. Yeah, Myles Garrett has no chance of winning NFL MVP. He can win Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, I think he's the best defensive player in the league. But NFL MVP, no, they have determined a long time ago that you have no chance at winning it. Christian McCaffrey didn't get a first place vote, came in 4th place last year. So, yeah, you can win Offensive Player of the Year. They'll give that to you. They ain't giving you NFL MVP. That's just not how it goes. Rob, let's talk about this in relation to Kenneth Walker. I think what is happening with the Chiefs is the best case scenario for them. Now, I'm excited about Kenneth Walker like everybody else is, but I mean, we got a little bit of Kenneth Walker evidence as we're now heading into the prime of his career at 26 years old. He's never gotten 250 carries in a season. They've thrown it to him out of the backfield. So if you add up touches, he's gotten 250 touches. But so far, how Kenneth Walker has been used best in his career has been between 220 and 240 touches. And they've usually, pretty typically, had a really good number 2 running back to kind of balance it out while he was in Seattle. Now, different scenario, different team, different offense, different all of those things with Kenneth Walker. But I think having Emmett Johnson and being a running back that you trust and can spell your number 1 back is the best case scenario for this offense. I think one of the best things for the Chiefs is that if they become less reliant on unproven wide receivers or guys taking a step and more reliant on their run game and use that as the foundation to open things up when Pat wants to take his chances and take a shot downfield, you can decrease the degree of difficulty. I'm not thinking of an offense that you need 4 or 5 of these wide receivers to figure it out. No, we like one running back. Let's try to get the other running back ready to go, and let's go from there. Now, maybe I'm overreacting to DeMercado and how I think he's going to be used, but this seems like the 3rd, 4th consecutive year that the Chiefs have gotten the veteran running back on a 1-year deal. We start to get inklings that they're not really going to use them nearly as much as we think. And then we're sitting here in the middle of the year wondering, why are they not using this guy? Why are they not using Carlos Hyde? Why are they not using Elijah Mitchell? Yeah, because they've told you the answer. They used Emmett Johnson. DeMercado wasn't in the game until the 4th quarter, late in that game. They gave him opportunity. I think the best case scenario is for them to develop their number 2 running back so he can be more like Zach Charbonnet or more like what the Bears had last year with Eric Bieniemy, where they had DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai. That's, to me, what they need to try to develop Emmett Johnson into. That's the best case scenario for their offense.
I agree that's the best case for their offense, but I'm a little torn here because I think that's what makes their offense the best. But if you're going to give Kenneth Walker all that money and then not up his workload, I don't know that's the best use of resources at the same time. Like Matt Verderame and you both have the stat. He's never had more than 225 touches. You're paying him the highest free agent contract ever to a running back as of now, and you're going to use him like a not rotational, but a 1A, 1B type of back like he was used in Seattle. So, like, I think that's best for the Chiefs offense, but I don't know that's the best usage of him and the contract he is on. I would give him a heavy workload and just his contract's 2 years and done. Burn him out in 2 years, cut him and move on. And then in theory, you have Emmett Johnson. It's a delicate balance how the Chiefs are going to have to handle running back both this year and next year because of the contract Walker's on and the contract Emmett Johnson is on.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the best kind of scenario for the Chiefs is going to be you can't reach your goals if you don't keep Kenneth Walker healthy. Like, I'd rather use Kenneth Walker too little than use him too much if those are my 2 options of what to pick. So I'd rather us feel like they're not using Kenneth Walker enough than they are overusing him. If you see this offense being unlocked and you see this offense as hitting a ceiling and being a top 10 offense in the National Football League, you got to explain to me how you're accomplishing that with Kenneth Walker not healthy, not available, and not being there. He's such a difference maker. He's such a game changer. For the most part, he has been a very reliable player in the National Football League. He, I would say, maybe other than Travis Kelce, he has been the thing that you know the most and have the most confidence in. It's not like anybody thinks that Travis Kelce's getting 1,000 yards this year. We all think you're getting 800 yards from Travis Kelce. Maybe you're optimistic and think you're getting 900 yards. Nobody can tell you how many yards you're getting from Rashee Rice. Nobody can tell you what you're getting from Xavier Worthy. We all have a different opinion on how available Cyrus Allen is going to be in the Chiefs offense. So you were telling me going into it, what's the thing I am most confident in and what's the thing that I most trust? I trust Kenneth Walker to be Kenneth Walker. I don't need him to transform into anybody that he hasn't already been. Do exactly for the Chiefs what you did last year with the Seattle Seahawks. Have over 1,000 yards, play in 17 games, catch the ball out of the backfield, be a difference maker, and be a positive postseason player the way that he was. If you can do that and you get that from Kenneth Walker, that is a contract that is well worth it, in my opinion. We'll keep talking football here. Keep it locked in. It's The Drive.
Your off-season home for everything Chiefs football.
Talking about the top story, the Chiefs, they have a new offensive coordinator.
96.5, The Fan.
Rob Sight Ford, KC's Ford volume leader and top rated on Google. 135th and State Line. Rob Sight Ford, your 2025 Ford volume leader. Top rated on Google with 4.8 stars and 3,000 plus reviews. The best selection, best prices, and Kansas City's best customer service. Visit Rob Sight Ford at 135th and State Line. Buy right, save big, and drive home a winner. Only at Rob Sight Ford.
All right, let me tell you guys about our friends over at Gates Barbecue. With 5 locations in town, you are never too far away from that classic Kansas City barbecue taste. They are celebrating 80 years of barbecue. We're talking about a family tradition here, a Kansas City tradition. Stop by any one of the area 5 locations to celebrate. Go in there and get yourself the small party tray. Go in there and get yourself the large party tray. Maybe you're a big baller like Rob. Go in there and get yourself the presidential platter. Get yourself the beef on bun with the crispy fries and make sure that they put the seasoning on there. Make sure you get a slab of ribs. And the next time you're there, I know you usually get the fries as a side, but trust me, get the fries like normal, but you also got to get that burnt mac. I'm talking about delicious, cheesy mac and cheese, and they chop up those burnt ends and they put them on top of the mac and cheese. I'm telling you, phenomenal. One of my favorite barbecue sides in the city. So it doesn't matter if it's a party tray, maybe you're celebrating the end of summer. Football is right around the corner, so you know you're going to be having your watch parties and your tailgates. So you want to make sure you got all your sauces and seasonings and everything you need to get ready for the football season. Whatever your plans are for football, whatever your plans are for the end of the summer, make sure they include Gates Barbecue.
Hey, it's Cody and Golden. You've heard us talk about Centric for years because it works. Thousands of graduates have taken the skills they learned at Centric and launched careers in one of today's fastest growing industries.
It's your turn to make that kind of move. In as little as 4 months, you can be learning those skills Alex is talking about because that's what employers are looking to hire for. Instead of just wondering what's next, why not start your career?
So connect with our friend Russ Mondry today at Centric.com. That's CENTRIQ.com to start building the career and the life you've been working toward.
BetMGM, official partner of Major League Baseball, is bringing the high heat all season long. All season long, you can log into the BetMGM app and receive top-tier promos that put you in the batter's box and up the excitement for America's pastime. Step up to the plate all season long with Swing for the Fences, the free-to-play game where every swing could score you rewards. We're talking parlay boost tokens, odds boost tokens, same-game parlay boost, and even bonus spins all season long. And the action doesn't stop there. Get more out of every at-bat and every inning with MLB's same-game parlay boost. Stack your picks and boost your potential payout. Plus, lock in bigger value with MLB odds boost tokens and MLB parlay boost tokens all season long. More boost, more swings, more chances to win. Download the BetMGM app and step up to the plate today. MLB trademarks used with permission. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Missouri only. Existing customer offers. Subject to eligibility requirements. Please gamble responsibly.
When it comes to my policy, Farmers gives it to me straight, so there's no surprises.
It's your coverage. You should never be confused.
You hear that? An insurance provider with a conscience.
We're a choir, but yes, we have that too.
Straightforward coverage you can literally understand. That's what you get when
you have Farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Learn more at farmers.com. Underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or Affiliate. Products not available in every state.
This summer, the Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich and Pineapple Dragon Fruit and Sprite are back at Chick-fil-A.
Girl, it's back. We've been waiting. I love that honey pepper pimento sandwich.
And that pineapple dragon fruit and Sprite is everything. It's got that razzle-dazzle that makes you stop and say, okay, wait a minute.
I love the creaminess of the pimento cheese. It's savory, it's bold, it's flavorful.
Our faves are back. High five, girl.
Which fan favorite will you choose? Real customers paid for their testimonials.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual-active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount of antacid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
Trust is earned. That's why I've stuck with Straight Talk. Same price since 2009 on Verizon's 5G network. Cause shoot, anyone can make a promise. Keeping it for years, that means something.
Now plans starting at $25 a month with 4 lines. Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Same price claim applies only to the base monthly price of our $45 plan from October 2009 to present.
Tune in for the Fan Club Fridays at 1 o'clock with Cody and Gold, presented by Circus Sports. Want your shot at $30 million in guaranteed prizes? Enter one of Circus Sports' premier football contests. Visit circusports.com for details. Enter in Nevada. Play from anywhere. 96.5 The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
Okay, downtown we've got 35 northbound at front. Okay, that's a stalled big rig off to the right shoulder, blocking part of the right lane. So scoot to the left through here. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Chris Jones from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, I have a quick Lakers thought, and then we'll get back to the Chiefs. It seems very obvious to me what is happening with the Los Angeles Lakers. Let me give you a real quick synopsis on what I've read during the commercial breaks of the show and what I think happened to the Lakers. They recently got sold for $12.5 billion. That's a significant amount of money. The Buss family, so Jeannie, her brothers, they still owned 17.5%. They saw their percentage go up in value. It is now worth noticeably more money than it was worth just a year ago. So there are 6 siblings. My understanding is they need a simple majority in order to sell the remainder of the stocks. Jeannie has kind of been the one that's been in charge of everything, but it sounds to me like the way that it is written, they all have an equal say and equal voice in this. Hey, we've got to vote on this thing. It sounded to me like, Rob, they had 5 of the 6 people that were on one side of selling. So regardless of what your sister says, if it is written in our father giving us the team, that we all have an equal say on if we want to share it, and we just have to get a majority of us to agree, a majority of us agree, we're cashing out on the remaining amount that we already have. We cashed out once, and now we get to cash out again, and we will never have this financial opportunity again. So we don't care what you feel about this. We are selling the team. That is the vibe that I have gotten from reading during the commercial break and why the Lakers chose to take the money. I mean, it's $12.5 billion. I understand you taking the option of just living your life as an incredibly wealthy person that doesn't have to work anymore.
What's interesting is me and you have both similar and very different views on this. I agree the $12.5 billion. The Buss family probably lost a vote 5-1, 4-2. Give me the money. But, and I haven't followed this super in depth, The sale of the Lakers seems kind of hinky to me. The guy bought the team, I believe his name's Mark Walton, bought the team a year ago for $10 billion, turned around and just sold it. He's got some legal troubles, we'll say that. Shady business. I think the Buss family is thinking to themselves, hey, we were in bed with this guy when we owned the Lakers with him. He then sold his shares and now put a spotlight on some shady business dealings he had, and this whole sale feels a little dirty. Something's not quite right. The math ain't mathin' type of thing. Let's eject before someone starts really delving into what happened here, because it does seem like an odd timeline for them to sell out, because a year ago, what you're describing, they also could have made a boatload of money selling their 17% to the former owner. So I think they're trying to get out of Dodge because they think something bad could come down the line for the Laker ownership.
Obviously, there is a difference, right? Like, I think that Clark is still very passionate about the ownership of the Kansas City Chiefs, and I don't believe, at least no time in the short term, is the Hunt family interested in selling team to someone else. But I do think we've seen examples. Man, my dad owned this team. I don't have the same passion for this that he had for this. That Lakers dynasty was built by him. He built this Lakers dynasty. He just left it to you. And now you can determine of what you want to do with it. You can sell it now, and nobody can stop you from selling it. And I'm certainly not going to fault you for selling something that's worth $12.5 billion and now taking that money, making it work for you, and living a very, very comfortable life for the rest of it without having to do any of the work. I'm just going to guess that owning an NFL team, professional sports team, is a lot more stressful than we think it is. Yeah, it sounds great. You're a billionaire. Seems like a lot of work to be really good at it. A lot of work. There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of things that you are paying for and got to sign off on. I don't want to do this. I've been doing this my entire life. I'm cool with taking the cash. It sounds to me like Jeannie wanted to stay in the basketball business. Her siblings did not want to stay in the basketball business, realized that right now they have the majority and they can do whatever they want to do with it, and just said, all right, we're going to sell the team and we're going to cash out. So salute to them, salute to everybody. That sounds like what happened with the Los Angeles Lakers, and we'll find out if more happened.
Let me ask you this real quick. I mean, it's applicable to the Chiefs. Maybe it's not.
I was ready to move on. You're talking basketball here now. I want that to be clear.
I have a question about the NBA, and I think it's applicable to the Chiefs. When's the last time we saw a family that owned a team and the lead ownership person, the chairman of the board, for lack of a better term, tragically passed away, that it didn't get hinky with family business with the NFL or NBA or whatever teams? We've seen this with Houston. We've seen this with Tennessee. We're now seeing it with the Lakers. When was the last time it was a transition of power due to a passing in recent memory that has gone smoothly with one of these teams? It's been hinky every time.
It does not happen very often.
Which, I don't know if that's a worrisome thing for the Chiefs one day. I mean, Clark's young and in good health, all the stuff. But
I guess technically with the Chiefs, and you could argue that worked well. I mean, they have not missed a beat since Lamar passed away.
That was like 20 years ago, though.
Yeah, and it's worked. I'm saying is in terms of family drama and those kind of things, they kind of stay out of it. The mother is there just a lot. I know she recently passed, but I mean, they've done a really good job, I think, of taking over the transition. Now, can you continue to do that along the family? Is your sons and daughters, are they now prepared to take off the team? It's not like Clark is some spring chicken. He ain't 35 years old. Like, he ain't got a whole lot longer left to run this team, but I think everybody wants to be in the scenario of where the Chiefs are. My dad had this. He carried the brand. I then took over the brand and did a phenomenal job with taking the brand. And now I hope when I leave it on to my kids, I hope they continue to push the brand further. Like, Lamar would be very proud of what Clark has accomplished. Clark one day is going to host the Super Bowl. Clark has won Super Bowls before. He has a very high standing in NFL owner cultures. He has done a very good job owning the Kansas City Chiefs. I had one football thought, and we can talk more about it on the other side. How many good corners do you think the Chiefs have? You know I got to go into my corner dot bag at some point. If we are putting Delane and Williams into the good corner conversation, and I'm there, I'm not here questioning those two. I'm putting those two off to the side. We don't have to worry about it. How many other good corners do they have, Rob? Think about it. Because right now, Snead is banged up with the knee injury. Kader Kohu banged up with the knee injury. Christian Fulton in witness protection.
Jaden Candy played in the fourth quarter of a preseason game.
So I'm just saying is right now in terms of cornerbacks that you love, cornerbacks that you like, that you feel good with, they got 2. They got Mansour Delane and they got Noah Williams. I actually think that Noah Williams has had the best training camp of anybody on their team. Maybe there's other guys you would put on that same tier, but there is not somebody you would say definitively that guy was better over the last 3 weeks than what Noah Williams has been. He has been very, very good. But they don't have a lot of healthy corners right now on this team. They don't have a lot of productive corners on this team. And it's going to be a fight pretty consistently on who's healthy, who's not healthy, who's available, and who's not available. They're going to have to monitor the Snead situation from start to finish, from start to finish in all of this. That's just where they're going to have to go. All right, we'll keep this conversation about the defense. There were some things I really liked about the defense. R. Mason Thomas is one of those things. Also, Jaden Hicks, I thought, played very, very well in preseason action. Keep it right here, so Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for K-State Athletics. 96.5, The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
Okay, downtown we've got 35 northbound at front. Okay, that's a stalled big rig off to the right shoulder, blocking part of the right lane. So scoot to the left through here. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Chiefs coverage sponsored by Renner Garage Door, RENNER, forward and back.
Almost Andy Reid here. Summer heat can put your garage door to the test. Stay ahead of the game with a Renner Garage Door summer tune-up. Plus, get free repair or replacement quotes and $100 off a new garage door, forward and back.
RENNER. Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
If you're only good to your new friends, you're not going to have any old ones. Straight Talk gets it. That's why new and existing customers get free 5G phones on Verizon's 5G network. Pretty simple, really. You keep good people by being good people.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
Kansas City storms can leave behind roof damage you can't always see. Hail and high winds may have compromised your roof, even if everything looks fine from the ground. That's why Century Roofing offers a free roof inspection and handles the insurance process from start to finish. For over 36 years and more than 36,000 roofs installed, homeowners have trusted Century Roofing. Voted best roofing company in Johnson County for 5 years straight and best in Kansas City 2 years in a row. KC-based and female-owned. Visit CenturyRoofingKC.com.
Century Roofing, trust the pillars of strength.
Hey, it's Gold, and football season is here. And when we think about football in Kansas City, it's all about the tailgating. And you know what can make your tailgating even better in an ultimate tailgate? It's the fact that that tailgate involves a Ford. Football's better in a Ford. Home games, tailgates, Friday night lights. You have the F-150, the Bronco, Explorer, and Super Duty, all built for game day. And right now, big savings and a huge selection are waiting. So don't sit on the sidelines. Quit your wishing and get your next new Ford at Shawnee Mission Ford. You can shop anytime at ShawneeMissionFord.com. They also get a complimentary lifetime powertrain warranty that will cover your new Ford for as long as you own it. That's a special warranty you can't get from other Ford dealerships because it far surpasses the standard manufacturer's warranty provided by Ford. So go to ShawneeMissionFord.com, shop for a new vehicle today, make football season better, and go see Kai Noah at Shawnee Mission Ford, part of the Midwest Ford Dealers, a proud sponsor of the Chiefs.
This summer, Casey's has 89-cent medium fountain and new Frostbite by Casey's drinks. But if you don't have 89 cents, you could check your center console, dig between your couch cushions, ask Grandma for $1, or just use your credit card. 89-cent medium Frostbite by Casey's or fountain drinks at Casey's, all summer long. Restrictions may apply. See store for details.
Fan Cash Fridays are here. Listen every Friday for your chance to win $100 in Fan Cash from Fanatics Sportsbook. Use Fan Cash to unlock unlimited profit boosts, exclusive merch, collectibles, and more. No purchase necessary. Must be 21 plus. See full rules on 96.5 The Fan contest page.
Sprained wrist, ankle twist, broken thumb, can't make a fist, busted knee, surgery, that patch of ice you didn't see.
Where pain starts, Jernavix suzetrigine begins. Jernavix is a non-opioid 50 milligram prescription tablet for adults with moderate to severe acute pain that reduces pain signals before they reach the brain.
Tendon tear, nose repair, tripping on that broken stair, dislocation, operation, moped crash while on vacation.
Do not take Jernavix with CYP3A inhibitors. Avoid use with grapefruit or liver problems as these may increase side effects. Tell your doctor about all your medicines if you are pregnant or breastfeeding. Jernavix may make certain medicines and birth control less effective. Side effects include itching, muscle spasms, rash, and elevated muscle enzymes.
Joint displacement, knee replacement, fell on marbles in the basement, ladder slip, broken hip, that rock climb where you lost your grip.
To learn more about Jernavix, ask your doctor. Call 1-833-589-PAIN or visit jernavix.com.
When a pipe bursts or your AC quits, you don't need a quick fix. You need a team you can trust. And that's Ready Services. They have been that team for more than 6 decades. Family owned and operated, celebrating more than 60 years keeping Kansas City comfortable with expert HVAC, plumbing, and drain cleaning. Get honest repairs at the right price, never high pressure sales at Ready Services. Go to reddiservices.com and get the job done right the first time. That's Ready Services, reddiservices.com.
The Advent Health Championship is Casey's only PGA Tour event. Whether you're a golfer or you just want to be part of the fun, family-friendly event, see the future stars of the PGA Tour at Blue Hills Country Club, August 20th through 23rd. Ticket information at adventhealthchampionship.com.
This report is brought to you by Go Car Wash. It's your time to go shine.
For a limited time at Go Car Wash, mention radio and get any wash for just $5. Yep, any wash. That's up to 80% off our best wash. Visit Go Car Wash today. It's your time to go shine.
Tune in to Cody and Gold starting at 10 as they broadcast live from Chiefs training camp with exclusive one-on-one interviews and real-time updates from practice. This is your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
All right, welcome back into the show. My name is Carrington Harrison. Very happy to be here with you. Rob, you know that I'm very big on snap counts. Who plays in these games, I think, is really, really important. So, on the offense, Jaden Hicks played the highest number of snaps. He played 33 snaps. That's good for 61%. R. Mason Thomas was second. He played 56% of the snaps. Christian Fulton played 54% of the snaps. And Felix Anudike-Uzomah played half of the snaps, 50% of the offensive snaps for the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, Jaden Hicks playing a lot of snaps. Good. That's what I think the purpose of preseason football is. R. Mason Thomas, you're a rookie. You're a young guy. I want to get you as many live reps as humanly possible. So you playing a good portion of the game, great. I love it. Are we taking anything by the fact that Christian Fulton played so much in this game when right now he's one of the few healthy available corners that they have? They didn't have Snead in this game because he's dealing with the knee injury. Cater Coe, who also didn't play, he's dealing with the knee injury. I understand that you only have so many spots and you got to get him reps as well, but this really isn't a team that can afford to potentially lose Christian Fulton if he plans on being a key member of this team. And also Felix Anudike-Uzomah, who could certainly use the reps his first game back after the injury last year. But, Rob, that's a lot of snaps to be playing for a guy that you are really counting on at this stage in his career. Are you taking anything from the fact that Fulton and Felix played so much on Saturday?
I think it is different reasons for each player, or at least I have different theories on why the reasoning will be for each player. That's probably a better way to say what I'm trying to say. I think for Fulton, I think they are trying their hardest to highlight him so they can get a conditional 7th or conditional 6th for someone ahead of cutdown day. That's what I think they are doing with Christian Fulton. I think it is, hey, the contract's the contract. We messed up, but he plays a vital position. We didn't know how the draft would go. We didn't know how free agency would shake out. We didn't know Snead would come available. We didn't know this, that, or the other, so we had to hold on to him all offseason. But now he is a prime cut candidate. But if he's getting lots of reps on the field and he's looking productive, maybe, and you know how this works, the New Orleans Saints, they'll be our generic team here, is trying to beat a team on cutdown day, and to make sure they get Christian Fulton and they don't lose the waiver claim, they send you a something for him. The same way the Chiefs got a something for Sky Moore. That's Fulton to me. That's what I think the logic is for Christian Fulton. I think it's different for FAU. I think with FAU, they are trying to get him back up to speed because He did not play a snap of real football last year. The year before that, he showed a little bit of promise, albeit just a little bit, but a little bit of promise. He got hurt in the preseason, and now we are relying on him. I want his body as football ready as his body can be, and if that means you're playing in the third quarter and fourth quarter preseason game, so be it. They did a similar thing a few years back. If you'd remember, Juan Thornhill, after his ACL injury, was playing a weird amount of preseason snaps when he was making his return. I didn't think it was an indictment on Thornhill then. I don't think it's an indictment on FAU now. So I think their snap counts tell two different stories for two different players.
So right now, taking a closer look at the cornerback room for the Kansas City Chiefs, and I'm using our dear friend Joshua Briscoe. He did a 53-man roster projection after the last preseason game. 2 starters, so Mansour Delane and Noah Williams on the outside. He has, for depth purposes, Kader Kohu, Christian Fulton, L'Jarius Sneed, and Jadon Kennedy. So those would be your 6 corners. And then you got a couple of practice squad guys. So you would have Kyer Elam, who I thought actually played okay in this preseason game. You got the Vetter kid who is emerging, Kevin Knowles. You got a couple of names in that conversation as well. I'm assuming he has Roland Wallace at safety because I actually think he's going to end up making this team. That's probably
I think he's the starting nickel corner.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right here. So they just have him under safety.
Okay,
So
yeah.
they have the 4 safeties making the team is Gilman, Connor, Jaden Hicks, and Christian Roland Wallace. Connor might honestly be the odd man out looking out. I don't think he's getting cut or anything, but I think the Gilman's ahead of him. I think Jaden Hicks is ahead of him. And I think the Chiefs really like Christian Roland Wallace and are just going to keep him, and he's going to be kind of a hybrid type. Are you feeling good about the cornerback room, or is this one of those things that we just have so much confidence in how they've developed the position? Because one of my slight fears about this is, and I'm trying not to make this too big of a deal, of the 6 corners that I just named, there is not a single one that you could say was good last season in the National Football League. And I'm even including Noah Williams, who was very good in the limited opportunities. But when you play less than 50% of the snaps, you're a question mark heading into the season. I feel the best about him. You probably would have to say Mansour Delane is second, dealing with the shoulder injury, but has been very good in the reps that he's been given. But we're talking about the depth purposes. I mean, Kader Kohu didn't play last season, banged up. Christian Fulton, the Chiefs just didn't think he could play and couldn't help them in any meaningful game last year. Sneed dealing with the leg injury and knee injury as well. And Jadon Kennedy's a mid-round rookie. Like, this is a real uncertain secondary room that they are heading into the season with.
For me, I think your belief in the secondary actually hinges on the player we mentioned earlier. It's either Roland Wallace or Chamari Connor. Because all reports out of camp are those guys are getting a lot of reps with the ones and nickel packages, sub packages, all the football lingo, blah, blah, blah. If you think those players can be viable rotational players in the league on a 3rd and 7 to make a play, I think you are right now confident in the Chiefs secondary. If you're thinking to yourself, hey, Chamari Connor's barbecue chicken alert at times, and I don't know who Roland Wallace is, then you're probably a little more concerned. I'm not a high level of concern because I don't think a lot of teams go 4 or 5 deep in the secondary with like an elite group. I think you have a chance to have a great player in Delane. We don't know yet. He just got the contact jersey on, but his draft position will make you think he's a great player. And Noah Williams looked good in the preseason game, looked good in flashes last year. PFF loved him last year. So if you believe he's a thing, you have 2 strong corners, and then from there it's kind of getting where you fit in and you're rotating bodies. So I feel fine with their secondary room, but if you are a listener or a texter and you're saying I'm not, I think it all hinges on Connor or Roland Wallace.
Now, I will tell you where I am a little bit concerned about. I am a little concerned about this. I don't know if this makes me a worrywart. I've told you guys before when it comes to the pass rush, my questions and my concerns when it comes to this team. If you are looking at the snap counts, now this comes from Arrowhead Pride. Felix played the 4th most snaps. We went through the number. He played 27. 19 of those were on the edge. They used them a little bit in the interior. He played 8 out of the 27 snaps. Now, continues to go on about how when they play with certain number of DBs, they kind of want him out there because they just want a faster, more athletic lineup. As we now sit here after watching one preseason game, let's remove the conversation about George Karlaftis because he's clearly their number 1 defensive end. They clearly trust him a lot. I think it probably goes Ashton Gelati or Mason Thomas, Felix Anyudike. I think they're using Anyudike as I don't want to use depth piece, but I think he'll be much more of a situational pass rusher. Third down, can you give us something? Can you get after the other team's quarterback? That's at least how I thought they used him in the first preseason game. And I think just based on their actions, they really like R. Mason Thomas, which is giving you reason to. And if you look at Ashton Gelati, who finished out the year, I understand why you would have hope and optimism about him as well once he gets healthy and gets back on the field and isn't dealing with the injury.
Yeah, I think the entire thing, like I agree with you, that's kind of the way it shakes out. It's hard for me to answer, though, because Gelati's been hurt so much at camp that I don't know if he actually is behind, R. Mason Thomas on the depth chart, or if it just looks that way because of the injury. Like, I'm guessing you're right and that Gelati is ahead of him on the depth chart, but I just don't know because of the injuries. I think the entire thing for me in D-line is going to hinge on how good is George Karlaftis. Because I think the way we view guys 2, 3, 4, and 5 is going to be way different if Karlaftis is a 10.5 sack guy versus a 7.5 sack guy. Because if the Chiefs can get 10.5 sacks out of Karlaftis, then I don't think it really matters who their situational pass rusher is at R. Mason Thomas versus FAU, because you're not asking big production out of them. You're just asking for 3.5 to 5 sacks, which is a fair recommendation. But I do think Gelati is probably ahead of R. Mason Thomas. I don't know because of injury.
I know that everybody is really excited about the rookie class, and I'm not telling you that you shouldn't be really excited about the rookie class, but I do think that this is a worthwhile exercise. It would appear to me, after watching the Chiefs play their first game of the season, that the Chiefs are very reliant and dependent and need big contributions from a second-round defensive end and a fifth-round wide receiver. I think it is possible that R. Mason Thomas is their second best pass rusher this side of George Karlaftis if we're talking about bookends. Not counting Peter Woods on the inside, not counting Chris Jones. I'm talking about a true edge rusher. I think it's possible that R. Mason Thomas is the best out of that three. Usually not good if it's your second round guy that you were counting on. And historically, that's not where you're going to get the pass rush from. I told you before, if we're saying that Cyrus Allen is their man defense beater on the offensive side, that ain't good. That's usually not the role that you want your fifth round wide receiver. His production should feel like it's a cherry on top. His production feels like it should be in addition to. It shouldn't be necessary. So one side to me, when looking at this rookie class and how well I think they played, and you got various contributions from different guys, and that's good. That's great. R. Mason Thomas is not a bonus for the Chiefs this year. They need him to be good this year. Cyrus Allen, their wide receiver unit, just based on Rice will miss something, Worthy will miss something, some injuries will happen. They're really, really reliant on these guys being able to step in and help them immediately. Now, they've had that happen before. That's what happened with Creed Humphrey. That's what happened with Nick Bolton. That's what happened with Trey Smith. So you counted on these guys and you got something from them. But we got to acknowledge those were in non-premium positions. They are counting on wide receiver day one contribution. They're counting on defensive end contribution. And I think you would argue outside of quarterback, getting immediate defensive end production is probably one of the hardest places to get it from. We can talk more about this here. We're looking through the Chiefs snap counts from the first preseason game of the year, just giving you an idea of who they like, what they like, where they like to play guys. We saw a lot of Khalil Benson in this one. We saw a lot of Emmett Johnson in this one. Jaden Hicks played really well. We saw how they plan on using FAU. We're starting to get a little bit of a clearer picture as we're heading into the season. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
I mean, come on, guys. What are we doing here?
On your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan. You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
The appetite for destruction returns. Guns N' Roses World Tour 2026. One night. Morton Amphitheater this Wednesday night. Tickets are on sale now at livenation.com.
This is Danon Hughes. In Kansas City football, we honor tradition, but we always look forward to what's next. That's why I'm all in for Flight by Yuengling. It's brewed by the oldest brewery in America, but built for today. 2.6 carbs, 95 calories, crisp, clean, and full of flavor, just the way a light beer should be. It's got the legacy and the stats to back it up. Flight by Yuengling, the next generation of light beer and the official beer of Danon Hughes. D.G. Yuengling and Son, Pottsville, Pennsylvania.
Hey, it's Bob Fesco. Are high-interest credit cards and rising bills stressing your budget? You pay every month, but high interest makes getting ahead feel impossible. Your home's equity can help. A refinance with Golden Oak Lending consolidates debt into one manageable monthly payment, giving your budget room to breathe. Get a free mortgage checkup today. Call 913-890-GOLD or visit goldenoaklending.com. That's 913-890-GOLD. It's Golden Oak Lending, MLS 114937.
Steve here with Connolly Plumbing Solutions, your neighborhood plumber. We have our sump pump special going. $200 off a main pump, $400 off a battery backup system. Call Connolly at 913-768-7676 or visit ConnollyPlumbingSolutions.com.
They say 40 is the new 20, and that's because guys in their 40s, 50s, and 60s are walking around with the testosterone levels of their 20s. If you want that energy drive, the libido of your younger self, then go to Low T Center like the thousands of other men have. Go to FixMyLowT.com and book your free T-test today.
America is turning 250 this year, and Circus Sports is celebrating by offering all users in Missouri $250. Danon Hughes here, and for everyone in Missouri, all you have to do is deposit $250 on your Circus Sports app. Then play through that deposit. Once you do, Circus Sports will reward you with $250 right in your account. This is available for everyone in Missouri, new and existing users. Celebrate 250 years and find out more at circusports.com today. Must be 21 or older in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years guaranteed? Now through August 24th, new Xfinity customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, it keeps you protected from online threats. And get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/team. That's ZipRecruiter.com/team.
ZipRecruiter. This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Chiefs coverage sponsored by Park & Go, your home field advantage for airport parking.
Sun, sand, and stress-free travel start with Park & Go, the best deal on airport parking. Keep your car cool with all covered parking and enjoy fast shuttles right to the terminal. Reserve your spot now at bookparkandgo.com. Park & Go, family-owned, customer approved.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
Debris cleanup continues at the exit ramp to 70, 35 northbound at 70. You're going to want to scoot to the left through here, continue on. You've got debris cleanup from this crash. 2 right lanes are blocked. 35 northbound at 16th. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Rashi Rice from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
So talking about this, and I know that everybody is really excited about the rookies and everybody's excited about the young players. I'm excited about them too. As we are going through the depth chart and going through how these guys are being used, in my opinion, the Chiefs are very reliant on a second-round defensive lineman. They are also very reliant on Cyrus Allen to be a difference in the wide receiver room. Somebody then sent in, C-Dot, maybe I misunderstood your point, but outside of being dependable for snaps, I don't think they need these two to be great or super special players. Neither one of those things are necessary. I guess maybe where I would disagree a little bit is what makes the Chiefs new and different if it's not contribution from those guys? Like, I think that Kenneth Walker is going to do a lot of the heavy lifting. Outside of Kenneth Walker, where are the other changes? The changes are you switched up the defensive line, and now you're counting on those guys to immediately be able to step in and help. Their wide receiver room, I think you could argue, is maybe worse than it was at the beginning of the season in terms of the name. So part of what I think is going to breathe some fresh life into this team is you need some contributions from some of these young guys. You need Noah Williams to step up and be a guy that you want to go get his jersey. You need to feel like at the end of the season you got something with R. Mason Thomas because he got 5 or 6 sacks. It'd be great if Cyrus Allen had 600 yards this year. One of my big points for the Chiefs and why I think preseason is so important, they need more really talented players under the age of 30. Like, this team has gotten old in regards to their impact players. I'm talking of the guys that you think you win championships with, the guys that lead your team. Those guys have gotten kind of old right before our eyes. They've been doing this and playing at this level for a while. You need Cyrus Allen to turn into a guy at 22 years old, 23 years old. And when the Chiefs were at their absolute peak and we thought their roster was the strongest, that's what it was aligned with. It was aligned with everybody in your cornerback room was under 30 and trending upwards. Everybody in your wide receiver room was under 30 and trending upwards. They just don't have a lot of those guys right now on their team. You're trying to develop those guys. So I think it's encouraging what you saw in the preseason. Other than Peter Woods, and it's one game, I don't want to overreact to one game from Peter Woods in the preseason. You saw a little bit of a flash from everybody that you wanted to see. If you're optimistic about Cyrus Allen, he gave you reasons to be optimistic. If you're like me and you're a believer in Emmett Johnson, he gave you reason to want to go get more stock. You saw a little bit of a flash from R. Mason Thomas. You saw a little bit from everybody that's on this team. You just need more of that. You need more of these guys to emerge and be the Pro Bowlers, be the All-Pro, be the superstar kind of players. That's how you win championships.
I think it was John Middlecoff. We played the cut last Friday. He said the Chiefs are in the midst of a mini rebuild. Because, and maybe that term's going to hit people's ear and make them cringe, and that's fine. But what you're describing is, in turn, some level of rebuild. They cannot rely on the 30-plus guys anymore. I mean, outside of quarterback, Mahomes is just a different animal, but let's put him to the side. They can't keep relying on 28, 29, 30-year-old guys. It's time to make a roster churn. And this offseason, they did that. The age of their defense has dropped significantly. They are turning the roster over, trying to find those 23, 24, 25-year-olds that are going to be the stars on this team. There are going to be growing pains. The Chiefs identified it for last season. Hey, there were a lot of problems. One of the major ones is we're relying on guys who have AARP cards to produce for us. We need to rely on guys who can barely drink to produce for us. So I think that's why John Middlecoff is calling this a mini rebuild. The Chiefs did this once in 2022. It was a mini rebuild. It worked great. But that is what they are in the midst of once again.
Yeah, and I keep seeing the comparison to that, and I think that's absolutely right. But I think we are now discrediting the fact that so many of those guys on the Chiefs actually turned in day one and were legitimate impact starters.
They had an elite draft.
There.
Elite draft in 2022.
I'm talking of, no doubt, hit the ground running with the large majority of these guys. Trent McDuffie hit the ground running and was your cornerback number 1, number 2 during this time. George Karlaftis has been starting since day one. Leo Chenal ended up being a positive player. Isaiah Pacheco, his first year in the league, gave you 830 yards. So, yeah, you didn't have superstar players. I don't think Trent McDuffie turned into a superstar in year one. But, yeah, you had legitimate. So if you're telling me that you think Emmett Johnson is going to have 830 yards this year, I don't know if he'll get that much volume the way that Isaiah Pacheco back. Great. That's what you need. You need more of these guys. They got to turn their roster over. to me. And I'm just saying is if we're talking about this team, again, being a contending team, we're talking about this team competing for the AFC West, and it's going to be tough. Some of these guys, you are not going to need to wait until December or November in order to figure it out. You're going to know pretty early on, hey, we got something here with Cyrus Allen. And it is going to be, all right, he's being used in the offense, and then he's ready to hit the ground running. But they need some of these guys to contribute immediately, in my opinion, if you think this is going to be a 12-13 win team.
Because, and I like the 22 comparison, if like you said, immediately they got impact from Pacheco. Immediately they got impact from McDuffie. Immediately impact from Karlaftis. Also, that second wave of guys, we're starting to make impact late in the season. Because that draft class also had Brian Cook. Brian Cook was not a day one starter, but you know what he was doing late in the season? Making an impact on the team, a positive impact on the team. There were other players that you were like, oh, we're getting, it's not superstar level, but you were getting positive impacts from the 2022 players. So you're right. You need guys to hit the ground running, but you don't need all 7, 8 to hit the ground running. You need 2 or 3 to hit the ground running, and then another 1 or 2 to develop behind them so that when we sit here on August 17th, 2027, you feel like you walked away with 6 guys, and now it's just a matter of getting them all to take the next step.
And to my point is, I think what makes it very different than before is these are at positions that if you get it right, it is a big boom. Like we're mentioning the 2022 in that draft class. Like someone says, well, we hit on center. Man, that ain't the same as hitting that defensive tackle if Peter Woods ends up being one of those guys. That ain't the same if R. Mason Thomas turns. Like, if R. Mason Thomas turns out to be the equivalent of what you got in Creed Humphrey, you have one of the 10 most valuable young pass rushers in the league if that's what he turns into. You got a guy who one day is going to end up making $100 million if it ends up hitting. This year, what I think they need in the impact players, these are all the bread and butter positions, and these are the ones that if you hit, the same way that you hit on quarterback, you hit on wide receiver with Tyreek Hill, you hit on tight end, you hit on defensive tackle. If you hit on those positions, you go win championships. So if you hit on Mansour Delane, if you turn Peter Woods into Jalen Carter, if you turn R. Mason Thomas into Max Crosby or one of those kind of guys, those are the guys that you win championships with. And maybe where I'm different on the text line, because somebody says you're talking about second round like it's not a premium pick. I don't know if you're counting the 40th overall pick in day one to be a guy that gets you 8 sacks. It's a little bit different if R. Mason Thomas was the 19th overall pick. Usually the 40th overall pick is not a guy defensively that's hitting the ground running and going to be a guy that gets you 5.5, 6 sacks. He can turn into that. That's why I've been using the Nick Bonito comparison. Nick Bonito eventually turned into be a guy and is one of the better pass rushers. He didn't just instantly step in the league and do that. It took him a little bit of time. This team, I don't know if they are in a position when it comes to their pass rush that they can wait for R. Mason Thomas to be a guy. I think they need him to be a guy immediately on the other side of Karlaftis.
I think we agree in large part. I think they need one of the two to be a guy immediately. Like, let's say, I don't want to put a name to it. Let's say Peter Woods is Jalen Carter. I don't think they need big contribution out of R. Mason Thomas, but they need to hit on one of them. And we're talking about that 2022 draft class. I'm worried it's an anomaly because it is so good. They hit on those bread and butter positions that you're saying, though, because Trent McDuffie plays corner. We also agree corner. George Karlaftis, I know he's not Lawrence Taylor, but he is a productive NFL player. Edge rusher, that's a productive position. Like, they drafted Jalen Watson later, another important position. They drafted a wide receiver in Sky Moore. It failed, but they at least drafted a premium position. Like, they did the things in 2022. That is clearly the formula. I think to your point, though, and you're right, they need one of the bread and butter positions to hit. They took 2 shots at edge rusher, at pass rush. Either Peter Woods or R. Mason Thomas to hit the ground running. They really need Delane to hit the ground running basically immediately. So they need immediate contribution, but I don't think it's just has to be R. Mason Thomas. It can be one or the other with here Woods.
Do you think that if you ask Chiefs fans if you would press the button for R. Mason Thomas and he turns into exactly what George Karlaftis is, do you think they press the button?
I think they should. I don't know they will. Because I think Karlaftis is weirdly maligned. Maybe that's me reading the text line too much. Maybe that's his contract and people don't understand how it's structured.
That's the difference in the expectation of a first-round pick and a second-round pick.
True. I mean, it's 10 spots different,
100%. But you and I both know that first-round pick and that second-round pick,
different.
What you are expecting. If you were telling me that with the 40th overall pick for the next 4 years, the Chiefs would get 30.5 sacks from R. Mason Thomas, I think you are excited. Now, you still need to maybe go find a number one, and you're always looking for that impact guy. But yeah, if you're telling me this is what he turns into, a guy that you can just pencil in every year is going to get you somewhere between 6.5 and 8.5 sacks, I think you got to be happy if that's what R. Mason Thomas turns into. It certainly could be a lot worse. It could be better, for sure. It could be a lot worse if that's who he becomes.
Do you think fans press the button on that? Because I don't
think so, no.
Is that because of the name Karlaftis, or that's because of the expectations for Thomas? Because again, maybe it's the text line. I think George Karlaftis is weirdly maligned in town, considering he's been a very productive edge rusher. I mean, he's not Von Miller, but he's been 9-sack guy every year in his career. That's good. You want that out of an edge rusher. But I don't know why fans wouldn't take that. That seems like you should rush to hit the button.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of, I guess, maybe what it is. Kind of like at quarterback, I guess. Everybody wants their quarterback to be Josh Allen. No one's happy if their quarterback is this version of Baker Mayfield. When I think we can acknowledge, there's so much of a gap on the other side. I think right now George's only flaw is he just has never really turned the corner, where I think you and I kind of look at it, and if you look at how much these guys get paid, man, there's just so few pass rushers in the league that actually change teams in this way. So if you got a guy that can get you 8 to 9 sacks, sure, that's not a Pro Bowl superstar caliber kind of guy. But I keep hearing everybody say, oh, look at Seattle. Seattle does not have the 17.5 sack guy on their team. They got a bunch of guys that get you 8 or 9 sacks every single year, and they have built their defensive line that way. But Seattle does not have the one true pass rusher the way that everybody kind of envisions your team to have. They've just got a really, really solid group of 4 or 5 guys that play at an incredibly high level and are very, very disruptive.
100%.
So last year, for example, I just looked at it really quickly. So last year, Seattle had 3 guys who had 7 sacks and 1 guy who had 6 sacks. So they don't have that one big guy, but they are incredible against the run we saw last season. And you can just generate pass rush from so many different people. One of the points that I've made about the Chiefs is I'm worried if they can't get pressure with their front 4, which Seattle clearly could last year. And now Spags has to gamble, and you're taking guys out of coverage, and now you're having them blitz because guys can't get home. What does that mean for the back half of your defense? They just, based on experience, based on reps, they haven't really been tested a whole lot in their secondary because you don't have a whole lot of experience back there.
I'm wondering if the Chiefs are, to your point there, building their team maybe backwards. Because you said, what happens if these guys can't get edge rush? What happens if these guys get pass rush? That's a fear you've had. It's a fear I've had. It's a fear the text line's had. You think the Chiefs think that they have the secondary where if they get aggressive and get a little blitz happy and get a little ultra aggressive, they think they have the guys in the back to cover even while being more aggressive? Because their offseason would tell you, we trust our guys in the secondary and we think we can make it work way more than they trust their edge rush, because they overhauled one position and they kind of just halfway ran it back with the other position.
Text line 913-586-7965. We're talking a little bit of pass rush here, talking about the young guys for the Kansas City Chiefs. The rookies played very, very well, I thought, for the Chiefs in preseason game number 1. And I'm just kind of looking at this team and looking at the roster this team just needs an infusion of young talent. They need some of these young guys to hit the ground running. If you think this is a 12-13 win team, I don't know if this team gets there if R. Mason Thomas doesn't get going until week 7, week 8. I don't know if you get there without key contributions from Cyrus Allen. I don't know if you get there without a couple of these young corners kind of developing and being able to hit the ground running. We mentioned some of the past Chiefs draft classes, that 22 and 23 class. I mean, day one, instant starters. You never question it with Trent McDuffie. You never question it with George Karlaftis. Najee Johnson was a positive starter for them during that time. Jalen Watson was a positive for them. Isaiah Pacheco. That's kind of what I think they need this class to be. This roster could just turn over just a little bit. All right, Rob, we got a little bit of time here in this segment. You know how last week I gave you my top 5 baseball movies because of Field of Dreams? I was not planning on doing this, but because of Hayden Panettiere and her role in Remember the Titans, Rob, I'm ready to give you my top 5 favorite football movies. This was unplanned. I did not think we were going to do this on Friday, but when I saw this news and everybody loves Remember the Titans. I was like, you know what? Let me give you my list of my favorite football movies. So, Rob, hit the music. All right. I'm putting this at number 5 because I know it's not a traditional football movie, but it's a movie that makes me smile. It is a movie that brings joy to my heart. If I had to make a list of the 10 movies that I have seen the most, this movie is absolutely in the top 10. The Waterboy, number 5 for me on the list. I love that movie.
You do love it. You bring that movie up a lot. Like, Sandler comes up a decent amount on this show.
It's my second favorite Adam Sandler movie behind Big Daddy. Big Daddy's 1, Waterboy 2. I love it. Could quote it start to finish. I love The Waterboy. Number 4 for me on this list. We don't have enough great college football movies. We have kid football movies. We have pro football movies. This is by far and away the best college football movie to me. I don't need it to be a story like We Are Marshall, where it's a real life depiction. No, show me what big time college athletics is like. I'm going with The Program, number 4 on my list. I love The Program. Cain is Abel.
Isn't The Program just football blue chips?
Yeah. That's why I love it. I love blue chips. I love The Program.
It came out way more negative tone-wise than I meant.
It is, absolutely.
It's exactly what it is, and that's why it's a very good movie.
We need more of those kind of movies. I don't know why we stopped making these kind of sports movies. They work. Number 3 on my list, Rob, you know, there's only been one movie that has ever made me cry. There's only been one movie that gave me all of the feels. Invincible with Mark Wahlberg, number 3 on my list.
I'm surprised how low this is. I thought this was going to be 1. You talk about crying during that movie is surprising amount. I thought this was going to be 1 with a bullet. I'm fascinated by 1, 2 now.
Number 2 on my list. It is just a knockoff version of movie number 1. I love Varsity Blues. The scene when you first get introduced to Lance Harbor, there's never been a person that looked cooler to me on a screen than what Lance Harbor is. They're telling you how great Lance Harbor is. And you remember Billy Bob is going to pick him up in the truck. And they open that door and you see Paul Walker with that light blue jersey on and that backwards cap and that golden hair flowing. You believe that he's going to Florida State. You absolutely believe it. Love Varsity Blues. Number 1, Rob, you know.
Yeah, I know.
I love the book. I love the television show.
TV show's better than the movie.
I love the movie. Friday Night Lights is by far and away. Friday Night Lights is my favorite sports movie if we are putting Rocky in its own category, because Rocky is its own category of movies. I love Friday Night Lights. There's so many incredible scenes in that movie where, remember Billingsley is with that girl and he's like, why can't you hold on to the football? And he keeps punching the football away. That's such an amazing scene when Chris Comer tries to paint his shoes black so he could be more like Boobie Miles. When Boobie realized he can't play football anymore. Just every scene is just 2 thumbs up. The ending. Sports movies are supposed to end a certain way. It doesn't end that way, but they still feel like winners anyway. 2 thumbs up. Friday Night Lights. That's my personal 5 favorite football movies. Number 5, The Waterboy. Number 4, The Program. Number 3, Invincible. Number 2, Varsity Blues. And number 1, Friday Night Lights. I was trying to think of why I don't have the movie that inspired this list on there. I've just seen Remember the Titans so many times. It's just not a movie that I really go back and rewatch at this point. I saw it so much as a kid, and obviously I realize it's a good movie, but at this point, I would only watch that movie to pass it down to a child. I don't know if I'm like, I want to get ready for the football season. I don't know if that would be a movie that I would watch. But if you're sitting there and you're with your family, or if your kid hasn't seen it, it's the perfect movie to watch. But I don't know if on a Saturday as I'm getting ready, I'm like jonesing for football to get back. That's just not the movie. Just like I love Glory Road. That's not the movie that gets me in, oh, it's basketball mode.
Let me ask you this before we go to break. Text line has this question. I have this question as well. I am surprised that Any Given Sunday did not make the top 5.
I don't love that movie.
I thought you liked that movie a lot. I thought you liked that movie a lot more than you do, obviously. Like, it's not my favorite football movie, but I was surprised it didn't catch a 4 or a 5.
I'm okay. I don't think I've seen that movie in like 10 years. I didn't love it when it first came out. It was just so over the top and ridiculous to me that I never really got into it. Your text line, you're allowed to have your movie. Text line, that's not my movie. The Replacements by Keanu Reeves, that's not my movie. Not at all. This is my 5. I'm not saying it's the 5. This is my 5. Waterboy, The Program, Invincible, Varsity Blues, Friday Night Lights. Where at any moment you tell me, let's turn it on, I'm happy to watch. Again, I like Remember the Titans. That's just not a movie when it's June and we all have that, man, I'm ready for football to come back. That's not the movie I'm going to watch. I know they overcame racism. That's just I don't want to watch that movie. I'm all right. I'm good. I know the story. I've seen it plenty of times. It's great. But hey, you got a 12-year-old kid and your kid's never seen it before. Oh, it's going to be an incredible time. Incredible time. You know what movie I was thinking about? I really enjoy The Blind Side.
It's a very good movie.
I really like The Blind Side. I would, like tomorrow, if you're telling me I could only watch one, The Blind Side or Titans, I would pick The Blind Side. I like The Blind Side more than I like Remember the Titans at this stage in my life. Just, I don't know. Sandra Bullock is just so good in there. I like the story about Big Mike. I'm liking it. I like it. It's great. Longest Yard. That's a good Sunday, there's nothing on television movie.
Yeah, it's like June 16th. There's nothing to watch.
Yeah.
It's on TNT. We're good.
Absolutely. All right. That's my top 5 for movies. R.I.P. to Hayden Panettiere. She is a star in Remember the Titans. Died very tragically at 36 years old. We'll get back to the Chiefs. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on Kansas City's only FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Are you looking to get more out of today's MLB action? Well, FanDuel has you covered. Right now, you can head to the FanDuel app and claim a profit boost to use on any bet type for today's game. That's any bet type you want. Money lines, totals, home runs, player props, however you like to play. It's simple. Just tap Claim Now, grab your token, and apply it to your bet before you place it. So head to FanDuel.com/local to get started. Maybe you're backing your team to win. Maybe you like the over. Maybe you're calling your shot and picking someone to homer. Whatever you're feeling, use your boost to get more out of your bet. Visit FanDuel.com/local to claim your MLB Profit Boost token. FanDuel, your home for home runs. FanDuel's the official sports book of Major League Baseball and 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is the Game of the Week report, brought to you by Hyundai.
The biggest tennis tournament is about to begin in New York City. Ahead of the official events beginning August 30th, fans are welcome to attend the completely free festivities the week before. On the ground, spectators can watch the high-stakes qualifying tournament matches, open player practices, and marquee exhibition events.
The Game of the Week report is brought to you by the all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid. Learn how it's so much more than just another SUV at HyundaiUSA.com.
Oh, hey, Sarah. Did you hear my daughter Katie got Camper of the Week?
That's a big deal.
We got a big deal, too. Right, Mom?
Honey, shh.
What's that?
Okay, that Hyundai Santa Fe, I only paid...
Nice.
Deal's so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days, or 1.9% APR for 72 months on the Hyundai Tucson, Tucson Plug-in Hybrid, Santa Fe, or Santa Fe Hybrid during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Offers end September 8th. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this rush hour ad to keep you calm, which could help your driving. And science says therapy is great for a healthy mindset. So enjoy this 14-second session on us. I think you've done everything right and absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, anything that hasn't gone your way could probably be blamed on your father not being emotionally available because his father wasn't emotionally available, and so on. And now that you're calm and healing, you're probably driving better too.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Hi, I'm Tom Shane, third-generation owner at Shane Company. As a family jeweler for almost 100 years, we're known for doing right by our customers. Our legacy of integrity depends on it. We stand behind our engagement rings with our all-inclusive free lifetime warranty. We handpick the most beautiful diamonds, then negotiate for the best price. At Shane Company, we put you first because a friend always has your back. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
At Farmers, our honesty is contagious.
Wait, am I going to catch honesty?
Well, when you're with Farmers, it's kind of inevitable.
Well, how long does it take to... I lied to you when you asked if I knew what a deductible was. I don't know my dad's birthday, and I thought umbrella policies were for rainstorms. Actual rainstorms. I have it, don't I?
You don't just have honesty.
You have Farmers. Bum, ba, bum, 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 bum.
Learn more at farmers.com. Underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or Affiliate. Products not available in every state.
Electrical service shouldn't be a hassle. That's why KC calls on KB Complete for all their electrical needs. For over 30 years, whether it's lighting, electrical panels, generators, or more, no job is too big or too small. From start to KB Complete, we believe in honest work, real results, and the kind of care that makes a difference. Call KB Complete at 913-730-5111 or visit kbcomplete.com today.
Your job's not done until it's KB Complete.
Dynasties aren't built overnight. They're built one smart move at a time. At Main Street Credit Union, our certified financial counselors turn your hopes for someday into a game plan that starts today. Schedule a financial counseling session with one of our certified financial advisors to draw up the right financial play for you. Main Street Credit Union. Real people, real progress. Join us at mainstreetcu.org.
This report is brought to you by CM Mose & Son, HVAC, plumbing, and electrical services. CMMosandSon.com.
Dispatch, this is Mindy at CM Mose & Sons Electrical, HVAC, and Plumbing.
You know, you don't have to put off fixing plumbing problems in your home anymore. I mean, you could just ignore that clogged drain or visit CMMoseandSon.com to take care of your plumbing problems. CM Mose & Son, license 205366.
Tune in for the Fan Club Fridays at 1 o'clock with Cody and Gold, presented by Circus Sports. Want your shot at $30 million in guaranteed prizes? Enter one of Circus Sports' premier football contests. Visit circusports.com for details. Enter in Nevada. Play from anywhere. 96.5 The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
We got a stall that's slowing you down up at 29 northbound. It is, broken down truck at Tiffany Springs Parkway, right lane blocked. Scoot to the left up there. Now downtown, that debris with the exit ramp still blocked. They're in the process of cleaning it up. 35 northbound as you approach 70. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Follow the station on Instagram at TheFan965 for giveaways and behind-the-scenes content.
All right, we'll reset things coming up at the top of the hour. I will give you all of my preseason football thoughts in one package. We are off today at 5:30. I gave you guys my top 5 football movies. Hayden Panettiere, she is Coach Yost's daughter in Remember the Titans. She passed away last night, so I want to pay my respects to her. Rob, when I go home today, I'm watching Bring It On All or Nothing with her and Solange. That's how I'm paying respect. I might do a I Love You Beth Cooper double feature today as well. I got to pay my respects to the legend. I got to pay my respects to the GOAT. So that's what I plan on doing today when the show is over. I gave you guys my 5 favorite football movies. Number 5, The Waterboy. Number 4, The Program. 3, Invincible. 2, Varsity Blues. 1, Friday Night Lights. Those are my 5. A lot of people asking about certain movies. The one movie that keeps coming up is Rudy. A big reason why I don't like Rudy is it's just such an easy formula on how to make a movie, and I just feel like we've seen that movie done better than how they do it in Rudy. If I want to feel how Rudy makes me feel, I'll just watch the first Rocky movie. If I want to feel how Rudy makes me feel, then I'll just go watch Hoosiers. Like, I just feel like the formula that Rudy has, I've just seen that movie told better than that movie is. I also just don't feel a place of nostalgia about Notre Dame. So yeah, I'm okay on Rudy. I don't think I've seen Rudy in a very, very long time.
Doesn't that same formula exist for Invincible? I know it's a true story, but like it's the same formula.
Oh no, 100%. That's why I have my Rudy. The same way that you feel about Rudy, that's how I feel about Invincible. Every man, common man, goes to play for the Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah, I like that version of the story more than I like Rudy's version of the story. Even though they are the exact same person, for sure. There's only like 5 plots in a sports movie. It's not like there's a bunch of different plots. Your team is bad, they get good.
You're a scrappy underdog, you make team.
For sure, that's it. everybody counts you out, you win. That's the foundation of every sports movie.
I guess that's the foundation for the Titans, but the them is racism counting you out.
For sure. And they figured it out. You think football is fun? Let me play this for you. This is Matt Verderam. So if you want, Carrington, what is your biggest takeaway? What is your biggest potential preseason overreaction to one game? We all do it. You see this thing and you're excited. I think Emmett Johnson is going to be a much bigger part of the offense than people are counting. Here's Matt Verderam.
Johnson, he just popped off the screen. Like, when you were watching that game, it was obvious he was better than almost everybody else out there. And that, to me, means something. Now, look, Walker's their guy. They paid him as such. But you do wonder, could Emmett Johnson be a little bit of a Zach Charbonnet in this case? Could he be that guy? He flashed. He flashed in a real way in that game.
Maybe this is not a fair comparison. I can acknowledge that. I think that Emmett Johnson will have more yards from scrimmage this year than Cyrus Allen. I think he will be a bigger contributor to the Chiefs' offense than Cyrus Allen. I understand why Cyrus is getting the love. I understand it. Wide receiver room, he's new, he's fresh. I get all of that. If you want my preseason overreaction, I think that we have been talking about the wrong rookies potentially, and the one that could end up providing the biggest impact and biggest value for the Chiefs this upcoming season is Emmett Johnson and having a second potential home run threat. If this team is willing to commit to running the football a little bit more and or using those guys a little bit more in the passing game, I think Emmett Johnson has a chance of being a difference maker for this offense. And if we are looking at historically, you got a lot easier chance of getting your mid-round running back to work than your mid-round wide receiver. There is going to be a running back somewhere in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round that no one is projecting that ends up having a big season and is going to swing your fantasy football league. Why can't that guy be on the Chiefs? Why can't the Chiefs have the Bucky Irving type? Why can't they have the 5th or 6th round pick running back that ends up surprising some people and is way better than what people think? It's not like that player doesn't exist in the league. I can pull up right now. We can look at the last 5 drafts, and that running back is available every single year. What if the Chiefs have that running back on their team? So if you want my preseason overreaction based on what you saw, what has you overly excited? It's not R. Mason Thomas. It's not Cyrus Allen the way that you guys are excited about it. Seeing how they used Emmett Johnson, seeing what he did with the opportunities and touches, knowing that the barrier of entry is just lower to be good at that position than other positions. You want to talk plug and play, there might not be a more plug and play position in the National Football League than coming in as a running back. I understand he's not going to be their number 1, but can he be a number 2 and this legitimately be like what the Bears had last year with DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai? Or like what Seattle had last year with Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet? That's in Patrick Mahomes' best interest. That's in the defense' best interest to control the line of scrimmage and run the football. That might be an option that we just haven't talked a whole lot about, Rob, how he can help this team.
Do you think some of the lack of excitement about Emmett Johnson, that's even a harsh term, but some of the lack of buzz for Emmett Johnson versus Cyrus Allen is because they know that the ceiling exists for Emmett Johnson? Like, even what you're describing in a best-case scenario for Emmett Johnson, and it's plausible, and what Matt Verderam says, he pops, all the stuff. Everyone knows, barring a problem, he's definitely running back to, rotational piece, not part of the immediate win-now plans. Do you think the Cyrus Allen love is all, and lack of Emmett Johnson love, is all born out of the fact that Kenneth Walker exists? Because I think Emmett Johnson has a lot of reasons to have people excited, but I think that excitement is tampered down because everyone knows he's not playing.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think that's it. I also just think, I think that people are dismayed with the Chiefs wide receiver room for whatever reason. Like, you have, maybe it's off the field stuff with Rashee Rice or lack of staying healthy or this thing with him. That if anybody flashed in the wide receiver room, it didn't have to be Cyrus Allen. Let's say that Andrew Armstrong was having the kind of camp, people would be really excited about Andrew Armstrong if you were getting that from Nico Remigio. We just kind of take turns on who that skill position guy is going to be that gets people excited. And that's, I think, this year's version of who it could end up being. So I'm sitting here seeing the text line, you're overreacting. I mean, that's kind of the point of what the topic is. It's just a preseason overreaction. But if people can overreact about Cyrus Allen in games in which there are no tackling and nobody has pads on, you got to allow me the opportunity to overreact to a game in which the pads were on. And in my opinion, in preseason football is about, are you better than the competition? There's no game planning. There's no scheming. There's no in-game adjustments. It's just, are our guys better than your guy? And there were not many players on the Chiefs offense on Saturday night that were better than Emmett Johnson. And that is as much pop as we've seen in the running back room in a very long time. And how they used him and how little they used DeMercado makes me think that DeMercado, he might be a little bit closer to, I'm not going to say not being used, but RB3 veteran running back that they sign on a 1-year deal that isn't really in the flow of their offense, but they have him as a break in case of emergency. If you want to talk about ceiling, if you want to talk about pop, if you want to talk about somebody that can give you something, I like Emmett Johnson a lot coming out of college. I thought he was a positive player, and I feel vindicated by he got a small opportunity and showed you what it could potentially work. You guys keep telling me to get excited about Eric Bieniemy. This is why you got Eric Bieniemy. He's not scheme guy. He's not game plan guy. He is disciplinarian, coach up the running backs. You got a young, talented running back with a little bit of juice in Emmett Johnson. If there is an offense that you could get the most out of his ability, I happen to think it's this one with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy. If the kid can play, we'll find out really quick if he can play. We'll recap and reset the preseason next. Keep it right here, it's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive.
My man Carrington Harrison.
On Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5, The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
We got a stall that's slowing you down up at 29 northbound. It is, broken down truck at Tiffany Springs Parkway, right lane blocked. Scoot to the left up there. Now downtown, that debris with the exit ramp still blocked. They're in the process of cleaning it up. 35 northbound as you approach 70. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Carrington Harrison here. Let me tell you that erectile dysfunction affects more than your sex life. It can impact your confidence, your relationship, your quality of life. But you don't have to live this way. What they'll do at Heartland Men's Health is they have licensed medical providers who can create a specialized treatment plan designed for your unique needs. Because when it comes to this, there's no one-size-fits-all solution. Using advanced medical therapies that go far beyond pills, Heartland Men's Health helps men achieve success rates at well over 90%. Many patients are even able to resume intimacy as soon as the day after their appointment. Your initial visit is $99. It includes a medical consultation, testosterone, and PSA testing. And if medically appropriate, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work during your visit, then the appointment is on the house. So visit any of the 3 area Kansas City locations, Overland Park, Independence, North Kansas City. Pick up the phone and call Heartland Men's Health at 844-447-6600 or visit the website, heartlandmenshealth.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Chiefs coverage sponsored by Renner Garage Door. RENNER, forward and back.
Almost Andy Reid here. Summer heat can put your garage door to the test. Stay ahead of the game with a Renner Garage Door summer tune-up. Plus, get free repair or replacement quotes and $100 off a new garage door. Forward and back. RENNER.
Listen up, guys. Do you think you know who's going yard today? Well, FanDuel is giving you a free chance to prove your baseball expertise with Daily Dingers. Here's how it works. Make your pick on who's going to hit a home run, and if you're right, you'll get a profit boost to use on your next bet for a shot at extra winnings. Now, when your favorite star goes deep and knocks it out of the park, it'll feel that much sweeter. Daily Dingers is free to play, and you can lock in a pick every day of the baseball season, and that's why FanDuel is your home for home runs. Get ready to play your game. Make your first pick at FanDuel.com/local. One more time, that's FanDuel.com/local. To play Daily Dingers and make your free pick on who's going yard today. FanDuel, an official partner of Major League Baseball, and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 in President, Missouri. No purchase necessary. Opt-in required. Bonus issue with non-withdrawable profit boost. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
What's up, guys? It's Drew. Look, let's be real for a second. When it comes to performance,
Good just isn't good enough, just like the teams that we cheer for, and that's exactly why Blue Chew raised the bar for you. Introducing Blue Chew Gold, the revolutionary 4-in-1 upgrade that targets both your brain and your body. Blue Chew Gold dissolves right under your tongue and starts working in as little as 15 minutes, so there's less waiting, more confidence, and a whole new level of readiness. And I've told you before, confidence is key. You know it the same as I do. Get started today at BlueChew.com and see why millions of men trust Blue Chew. Now, with a gold standard upgrade that's changing the game for good. It's not just about function anymore. It's about total performance, both physical and mental. They're turning bedroom performance into an Olympic sport, so go for gold. Make life easier by getting harder and discover your options at BlueChew.com. There's a special deal for you there. Get 10% off your first month of Blue Chew Gold with code KFNZ. That's promo code KFNZ. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety info.
Hey, it's Rex here with Rex Buys KC. I get it. Selling your house can sometimes feel overwhelming or scary, right? I've seen it too many times. A homeowner thought they had a deal, only to have the buyer back out at the last minute. That's not how we do business at Rex Buys KC. I'm local, I know Kansas City, and I make sure every deal actually closes like it's supposed to. No hidden fees, no showings, no last-minute surprises, just a fair cash offer and a process you can count on. We buy homes in any condition and judgment-free. So whether your house needs repairs or you just want a fast, hassle-free sale, we can make it happen. If you want certainty, transparency, and someone local who actually delivers, call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time. 816-330-6000 or rexbuyskc.com.
Expect mostly clear skies tonight with a low of 69.
Weather brought to you by Duke's Mayo. Welcome to Duke's Mayo Country, where the mayo is so smooth and creamy, it makes every bite better. Duke's Mayo. Look for the yellow lid.
Car wreck? Get the money you deserve. Mike's got this.
Paid for client portrayal and endorsement. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Give me one good reason why I should call DM Law.
How about 3 great reasons? 1, it's easy. 2, it's fast. 3, the results.
Mike's got this. 816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Listen to the Royals and Tigers over on the AM 610 this Saturday with Vern's pregame starting at 5 and first pitch at 6:15 on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Congratulations on getting through your 9 to 5. Thank you so much for listening. It is The Drive. You were listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. My name is Carrington Harrison. Happy to be here with you. We are taking you up until 5:30 when we hand things off to the Kansas City Royals. All right, Rob, this is where I would like to begin the show today. Begin the 5 o'clock hour. I thought that the Chiefs checked about every box that you would want to see in their first preseason game. If you are watching the preseason to see the rookies pop and see the rookies do something and make an evaluation on if they can help you once the games start to matter, I thought just about all of their rookies and young players made a play or contributed in some way that should give you hope and optimism for the season. Mansour Delane is going to play in week 1. I admit that I potentially overreacted a little bit about Mansour Delane and the shoulder injury. And I think what we've seen play itself out in real time is what it looks like when a player is limited and then won't play on Sunday, and you see in real time him start to get healthy and get back on the field. I don't think that Mansour Delane would have played 2 or 3 weeks ago, but they didn't have a game 2 or 3 weeks ago. But as we've gotten closer to the season, and it's obvious that he is now getting healthier, you are seeing him get on the field, participate fully, and at least for me, their number 1 and number 2 corner spots, I think you feel very good heading into the season. I don't think there is a player in camp that has had a better training camp than Noah Williams has had. I think he's been very good in training camp, and that's exactly what you need. Mansour Delane is getting healthy, and I'm watching these reps, and he is consistently winning these reps as a rookie. He is as advertised, in my opinion. Now, we got to look at the other corners because Snead's out with the knee injury. Kohu's out with the knee injury right now. So you're trying to get these other guys healthy and available. But your number 1 and number 2 corner, you feel really good about. Your second pick in Peter Woods. I don't think he had a great game by any means. It's one preseason game. So if you don't make a pop in one game, what's my take going to be on that? So I don't think he popped in the same way that these other players popped, but you know what? He's healthy. There's no injury to report. You live to play another day. I can live with that. R. Mason Thomas had a couple of very good reps and I think showed you what kind of pass rush he could provide for you this season. I thought Cyrus Allen made a big catch in this game. Andrew Armstrong made a play or two in this game. We talked about Emmett Johnson, who I thought played pretty well for them. I saw a stat from Pro Football Focus, and you know how people love Pro Football Focus and hate them. Quite the love-hate relationship. He broke 10 tackles this preseason, this round of preseason games. No player in the NFL broke more than 5. They needed a either home run by you kind of threat, and they certainly didn't have that on last year's team, or they had a make you miss kind of guy. And that's what Isaiah Pacheco used to be for Kansas City. That is not what he was in his final season. He was not a put his head down, run through you guy the way he was at his absolute prime. He was not making anybody miss. So if you were telling me that the combination of what I think Kenneth Walker is going to be, and now you got an opportunity to keep that guy fresh and coach up Emmett Johnson with what he doesn't do well, and it sounds to me like it's going to be helping him pass block, that's exactly why you got Eric Bieniemy here. So I think you could come away with the big takeaway from Emmett Johnson if you want to. I know that Jaden Hicks isn't a rookie in the same conversation as these young guys. I thought he made a really good play in the goal line. I think if you are looking for the positives, and I don't think there were many negatives, honestly, to spot with this team. It's preseason football. But if you're looking for the positives and what went right on Saturday, I think you can find a bunch of examples. And this team, in my mind, they need an infusion of young talent. Maybe where today I'm a little bit different than the text line. I don't think we're that far off is I think they need contributions from these guys a lot sooner than you guys think they're going to need contributions. If you want to breathe fresh life into this team, I'm sorry, you don't breathe fresh life into this team with more Travis Kelce. You don't breathe it into it with more Chris Jones. No, you breathe into it by helping Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy figure it out. You help it in helping George Karlaftis take the next step and elevate up a rung, and you help by getting contributions from these young guys. And they got a lot of young guys at key impact, important premium positions. At wide receiver, at pass rusher, at corner. We're talking about $100 million positions that you are counting on guys to step in and be day one contributors for you and guys that can help out. So day one, and we'll see what they look like in the second preseason game. And I'm guessing that some of these guys are going to play a little bit more in the second preseason game because they're not going to contribute in preseason game number 3. The first preseason game, I think you have to give 2 thumbs up, and I think it was a positive for the Chiefs, and I think it was a success for the Chiefs.
I think what matters about the preseason is for the Chiefs, because there are other cities where, like, how did our rookie quarterback fare? Where the preseason is different. But for Kansas City, what's important in this preseason is, did the young guys play well, and did they come out healthy? And maybe not even in that order. And the Chiefs can check both boxes. I don't think Peter Woods played particularly well, but I don't put too much stock in it. I think Emmett Johnson played very well, but I also don't put too much stock in it. But I don't want to see how good Chris Jones looks. I don't want to see how good George Karlaftis is. I don't want to see if, oh man, how's Nick Bolton playing? I don't care about those guys in the preseason. Those guys don't matter to me in the preseason. I think Chris Jones played one play and then came out of the game. Like, cool, stay out, come inside, you're fine. So everyone walked away healthy, and the rookies look like they have a little pop, and they look like they have a little juice, and the team, because of it, might have a little bit more youth and explosion. So check, and check for how the Chiefs handled preseason game number 1. Now, game number 2, I do want to see the regulars a little bit longer. I do want to see, hey, is Rashee Rice getting separation? Hey, how's Xavier Worthy look? I don't need to see 3/4 of Garrett Nussmeier in the next game. But you know what? Game number 1, they did exactly what I wanted them to do.
I would throw one negative out there. I don't think we have to spend too much time on it. I don't think they have a lot of offensive line depth. I think their offensive line depth is actually pretty bad. I think we got a chance to witness that, and that was showcased in this now. You're hoping that Hunter Norzad doesn't get a whole lot of run. You're hoping that Mike Caliendo and Ethan Driscoll don't play a whole lot. But I think the Chiefs have told us who they think their top 7 offensive linemen are. So the starting 5 we already know, plus Khalil Benson and Issa Pole. I think they've told you who they like, and that's who they're going to run with this season. They clearly like Khalil Benson. They're moving him around everywhere. He's playing some tackle. He's playing some guard. When guys are injured, he's the first one to step up. So as I said last week, Khalil Benson is part of their plan. Khalil Benson is going to start a game this year for the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, certainly not wishing injury on anybody, but it's hard to keep all 5 offensive linemen healthy for 17 weeks. So you need to go 6, 7 deep on that offensive line. Khalil Benson is going to start at some point this season. Is he going to start at right tackle? Is he going to start at right guard? Are they going to move him over to left guard depending on if an injury happens? We got to see who gets injured and how long they're potentially out. But the Chiefs have communicated to all of us that they really like Khalil Benson. I also think that they communicated they really like Emmett Johnson. I think based on how much he played, how they used him, how much better he was than Brashard Smith, the fact I think Emmett Johnson has a chance of being a much bigger contributor in their offense than I think people are discussing. I understand why people are talking about Cyrus Allen, but if you were asking me right now, who do I think has more yards from scrimmage this upcoming season, I'll take Emmett Johnson, and I'm guessing just based on the public conversation, I'm assuming I'm getting him at plus money when it comes to yards from scrimmage over where Cyrus Allen is. I'll take Emmett Johnson. I think Emmett Johnson might end up being a positive for this team. I think he might end up having 400 or 500 rush yards. I think they might really end up using him and him being a key part of their offense.
500 rush yards from their number 2 running back?
That's not much different than Seattle last year.
You think the Chiefs were on the ball like Seattle last year? Look up Andy Reid. You have the computer in front of you. I can look it up too. When was the last time running back 2 and when it was a true 1 and 2 in Kansas City?
It might have been last year. They might have had 2 of these guys.
Yeah,
it wasn't great for sure.
Yeah. Last year was I'm talking like there was a definitive number 1. Like when they had Charkandrick West, Spencer Ware. Okay, they probably both had over 500.
I would not be surprised if, for example, let's say that Kenneth Walker gets 900 yards and Emmett Johnson has 475. That would just not be a surprise to me. If that's how it ends up happening, that maybe we're a little too high on the projections for Kenneth Walker, not way too high, but he has a little less than 1,000 yards, and then your number 2 back and a guy that gets 145 carries over the course of the season. I just wouldn't be shocked if that ends up being him, especially early on in the season when they're trying to protect Patrick Mahomes. So would we be shocked in the first game of the season? Let's say they run it 27 times. And they give Kenneth Walker 16 carries, they give Emmett Johnson 8 carries, and they sprinkle in a little bit of creativity elsewhere. I don't think you can be surprised if that's how they play the first game of the season, given Mahomes. I also don't think Mahomes is going to be willing to take off as much in the early part of the season, so they're going to have to run the football effectively because last year their best play on third down was usually everybody is covered, Patrick, take off. I don't know how much that's going to happen this season.
That's fair. I feel like the lion's share of the carries, especially early, are going to Kenneth Walker, and it's going to be hard times for Emmett Johnson to get to 400, 500 yards. Not that he can't be successful. Not that he can't be viable. Not that he can't jump DeMarcado on the depth chart. I just don't think the Chiefs are going to spend all that money on Kenneth Walker and get 900 out of him and 500 out of Emmett Johnson. At least not in year 1. Maybe in year 2 we'll have a different conversation. But I think early going, it's going to be Kenneth Walker's our bell cow. He's going to touch the ball a ton, and it's kind of get in where you fit in behind him.
Yeah, I guess, and I'm not really trying to poke that much into the Brashard Smith thing. I think you guys kind of know where I am. The Brashard Smith thing, I I maybe don't see it the way that you guys see it. Like someone on the text line says, Brashard Smith still looks good. I think he's their number 3, and the guy from Arizona could be gone or to the practice squad. I mean, Smith had 8 carries. He had 21 yards on his 8 carries. He had 2 catches out of the backfield. Smith touched the ball 10 times and got 33 yards. That's kind of like what he did last season. Last season, he averaged 3.4 yards per touch. I understand it's 7th round pick, so if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I've just never seen with Brashard Smith what you guys want me to see or think we should see. I just don't see it. I think the Chiefs have kind of said that. I think they clearly they spent big time money on a running back. They then brought in, if they really liked Brashard Smith, they would have handled their offseason radically different if they really liked what they had with Brashard Smith. So I just don't really see him factoring in offensively to anything they got going on. He couldn't play on last year's running back room. He can play in this year's running back room. He couldn't play on last year's team. They didn't trust him to get carries with that terrible squad. We're at the middle of the summer. Kareem Hunt's still available right now. You can go get him. He couldn't beat him out last year. Yeah, I don't think Brashard Smith can play.
I also think we know how much Andy Reid values your ability to pass block as a running back. Brashard Smith is not a large human being. I don't know that he'd be a great pass blocker. I think that's probably one of the reasons he went on the field much last year, is that he's kind of smaller in stature. Do you know what I know about DeMarcado? He might be a flawed running back. I don't think he's like some star. But he even said it one day. He talked to the media. He loves to pass block as a running back. I think that's going to matter. I would love it if Brashard Smith jumps DeMarcado on the depth chart. You can cut and eject. I think that'd be fine. I don't think that's happening. I think Brashard Smith is, making the roster as a kick return type of guy, but I don't think he's jumping DeMarcado.
Yeah, someone on the text line says, see that it's hard to be mad at Smith when you said the line isn't deep. That didn't seem to hurt Emmett Johnson. Emmett Johnson was playing with that same offensive line that he was playing with and was noticeably better in the same game. It ain't like Johnson was only playing with the ones. My apologies. ESPN, this is terrible. It's terrible.
Like, what's happening?
No, that's the case. I mean, Emmett Johnson touched the ball 12 times, or 13 times, to get a catch out of the backfield as well. I mean, Emmett Johnson had 12 carries for 60 yards. Brashard Smith had 8 carries for 21 yards. They're playing on the same game. Same team, same offense. I'm sorry, and ain't close between the two. And it's not even a little bit close to me between the two. And who has some real juice? Who has some real pop? Who do you think, if an injury happens to Kenneth Walker and you got to divvy up the carries to somewhere else, it seems very clear to me who I'm giving the carries to, who I'm giving the touches to, at least for me. That's where I would be.
Yeah, I think DeMarcado may even jump for number 2. I don't think he's getting jumped for number 3. That seems highly, highly, highly unlikely to me.
Yeah, and then text line, CDOT, saying that you think Emmett Johnson can get 500 yards is crazy. Just going off the Bears from last year. I mean, if we're using the Bears as an example, now maybe you think that Emmett Johnson would get fewer carries than what Kyle Monangai got last year. But last year, DeAndre Swift had 223 carries last year. 223 last year, to give you an example. Let me pull it up here with Kenneth Walker while we're sitting here having the conversation. Last year, Kenneth Walker got 221 last year. So DeAndre Swift had 2 more carries than he had last year. DeAndre Swift ran for 1087, and Kenneth Walker ran for 1027. So he had 2 more carries, 60 more yards, whatever. I don't care about that. Last year, Kyle Monangai had 169 carries and had 783 yards and had 5 touchdowns last year. He averaged 50 yards rushing a game. So my point will continue here. If you think the way you feel about Eric Bieniemy, and you guys clearly love EB, what positives do you think EB brings to a team? If discipline is one, all right, on the field, what impact do you think he provides? I don't think there is somebody that can get more out of running backs than what he can get. If you think you got something with Emmett Johnson, if you think he can get there, then I think he can be a big contributor to this team this upcoming season. So, yeah, that's where I'm at least when it comes to Emmett Johnson. I'm a believer.
I do not mean
I'm drinking the Kool-Aid.
I don't mean to throw water on the Emmett Johnson love.
That's fine. I understand that.
I understand the Bears comparison, the Seahawks comparison. I get it. I looked this up. In the Patrick Mahomes era in Kansas City, I didn't look up how the 2013 Chiefs
They never had a good number 1 running back, so I don't count them to have a good number 2 running back.
Their number 2 is just always, it's not even like his yards are down. They're always light years behind the main guy. 2022, the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. Isaiah Pacheco was a rookie. He's a revelation, a great player. He had 850. It's 830, 850 yards. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 300. Jerick McKinnon, who was great receiving the ball that year, 291. Like, 2020, that offense, I think 2020 may have been the best Chiefs team. They were 15-1. They were a behemoth.
Yeah, dog.
They got 800 yards out of Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Their second best running back, 250 from Le'Veon Bell, which I forgot Le'Veon Bell's a Chief. So my point is, like, they're right. They haven't had that 1,000-yard, whoa, watch out guy. But even 2018, Kareem Hunt, 800-plus yards to the Chiefs as a running back. Like, this is Kareem Hunt in his prime. And I know he lost some games to off the field, whatever. The next best running back was Damian Williams at 256. Like, they usually have a clear-cut number one, and it's getting where you fit in after that. It's not 1,000 here, 500 here. It's usually 1,000 here, 275 over here.
I agree, but maybe where I think it's a little bit different this year with the Chiefs is, A, we've never seen them make this level of investment at the position. They also have never drafted a player like Emmett Johnson. They either drafted Clyde Edwards-Helaire or, oh yeah, the draft's almost over, let's get a running back before it's done. They've never, in my opinion, been as intentional as I think they were with the running back. And Rob, you and I have had a lot of running back conversations. You usually are on the side of take a chance at the 5th round, 6th round pick. This guy could help us. Like, we can go through here and I can give you a bunch of examples of guys who are in that 5th round range that just end up being pretty productive players and can help you a little bit at the position. So that's why I'm like, here, last year, Woody Marks, 4th round pick. I could live with it if that's who he turns out to be. Cam Scadaboo was a mid-round pick last year. Tyrone Tracy for the Giants a couple of years ago was a mid-round pick for these guys. We can go up and down these NFL rosters. A Tank Bigsby was a 3rd-round pick. So it's not like what I'm saying is this never happens. This happens every year in the NFL draft, that there is a mid-round pick of a guy who at running back exceeds expectations and can be much better than what people thought. I actually think you can argue he was the 3rd best running back in the draft class. I thought so last year.
I actually agree with that part. That's probably because the draft class was pretty bad at running back.
If Love was 1, nobody's arguing that. Price was number 2. I think there's a chance that Emmett Johnson's the 3rd best running back out of that class. Guy's got a chance of being pretty good if that's the case. At least helping a team out. And in my mind, why I think this matters and why I think it's a topic is we've been trying to cobble together passing yards and arguing about, can this guy help? Can this guy help? Man, the best thing for this team might be turn around and hand the ball off, and let's try to get 4 or 5 yards of carry with one of these 2 backs. And when you can try to make do with a wide receiver room that nobody seems to believe in and think they have a bottom 10 room, they might have a top 10 running back room in the National Football League if they just use the guys that they just got.
I actually agree with you conceptually. I wish they would have found Emmett Johnson. I've been begging them to find that person. I just think he can exceed expectations, but still not hit 500. He can have a good, productive season, but be a 350-yard back because they find a role for him. Like, I know I cherry-picked 2022. Jerick McKinnon had 291. No one looks back at Jerick McKinnon's 2022 and says that was a down year. They didn't get the most out of him.
He also had a lot of receiving yards one of those years, too.
He was a unique case, but like I think 500 is a little north of expectations, but I think he can still be a productive running back, too.
We are off a little bit early today because of the Kansas City Royals.
By the way, before the Royals, I want you to mention the Jungle.
My bad. I forgot all about the hits. My bad.
The hits are brought to you by Jungle Law. Jungle Law is here to dominate all cases of DUI, personal injury, criminal defense, and sexual harassment. Call the lawman today, 816-816-9111.
I understand what happened, but I'm just saying is if Cyrus Allen had put together the game with Emmett Johnson, we'd be talking about putting him in the Chiefs' Ring of Honor. I just think maybe, just maybe, we've pumped the gas in the direction of the wrong Chiefs rookie to get super excited about helping them this year. That's all I'm saying. Because in the limited amount of times that he got touches, he was very, very productive for Kansas City on Saturday. We got more preseason. We got more training camp. They got 2 more days left in St. Joe. Take care.